NFL on NBC this afternoon, and we are indoors in Seattle. Today, the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. Hello, everybody. This is Charlie Jones, along with Randy Cross. Seattle off to a very poor start last week at San Diego. They did not do anything that was really outstanding, and they lost and deserved to lose because they didn't play that well.
Well, really, and Dennis Erickson hopes this really isn't a trend, but when he talked to him yesterday, he said, my quarterback, Rick Meyer, really did not play that badly. He just made a couple of dumb mistakes. Well, you know, Rick Meyer's in his 4th year in the NFL. And as far as I'm concerned, the 4th year in the NFL is time for a quarterback to either put up or be a backup. He's taken a lot of shots here from the media, a lot of shots from the fans, and we asked him about that criticism and really how it's affected him.
Week in and week out, I think the quarterback's got it either real good or real bad, and it's easier just to win and you know, enjoy that and you know, try to do that week in and week out. But when it doesn't work out that way as often as you like, which has been the past, you know, few years here, the quarterback's going to hear about it, and that's just the way it is. And last year was no fun. I had to learn that. Now I know what to expect going in, and you know, enough's been said now that no one can hurt me now. You know, it's all been said, so whatever. You know, I just go out and do my job and try to, when I walk away, I want to know I did all I could, and sometimes it's a little bit too much, but that's just part of my nature.
And that is a strange reaction to the criticism.
Well, I think Rick Meyer has to really realize and come to the grips with the fact that, you know, nobody hurts Rick Meyer but his own performance, and that's Rick Meyer's fault.
Speaking of performances, you always look forward to seeing John Elway perform. We saw him last week in Denver, and the arm is still there.
Well, the arm's there, the drive's there. This guy's a winner. No matter what it takes, he's going to find a way to win every single week. It may not always come out that way, but rarely is it John Elway's fault. And when he comes against the Seattle Seahawks, he's got to have a little extra smile on his face, because in touchdown passes and yards passing, the most against any single team. The one area that John Elway and these Broncos have got to get off to a good start here in '96 on the road. They've only won 1/3 of their games in the '90s on the road.
And we'll be back with the opening kickoff from Seattle in just a moment. The Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks. Welcome back to Seattle. It is not a sellout here. One of the smallest opening day crowds in the history of the Seattle Seahawks, and their head coach is Dennis Erickson. And then on the other side of the field will be Mike Shanahan. There he is with the headset on.
Mike Shanahan, very intense here, start to '96. He realizes what he needs out of his football team. That's a continued running game that's effective, and they have to stop Chris Warren and the Seattle running game to prove to people that maybe this defense is for real.
Denver won the top. They receive on Hebron. Is the deep back on the return, and he is going to field it at the 1-yard line. He comes out to the 10 as a block in front, has a bit of an opening, slides through, nice return out to about the 19-yard line. Whoa. Jay Bellamy got him for the Seahawks, and John Elway will lead the Denver Broncos. And here is his offensive line. How good is that offensive line, Randy?
I think it's a good offensive line that's been known for pass protection. I'll be honest with you, in the last year or so with Terrell Davis and now with Aaron Craver at running back, this offensive line moves and blocks well for the run.
And the backs and receivers. Here they are, running back Terrell Davis and Aaron Craver. First down, Denver. And they want to establish that running attack. They'll open with Terrell Davis. Davis off of the right side. He's going to pick up about 4 on the play. Sam Adams makes the stop. Let's look at that defense of the Seattle Seahawks in the front 4.
So everybody has this deal. Little short, stumpy, heavy defensive tackles and sort of tall, light defensive ends that are made for rushing the passer.
Linebackers in secondary. Barber drawing the starting assignment for Terry Wooden, who is out, still bothered by the hamstring. Second down and 6. Way to throw. Incomplete, way short, Ed McCaffrey. And McCaffrey was open. Not a good opening throw.
We showed you the stats that John Elway has had career-wise against the Seattle Seahawks, but, you know, last year, Seattle beat these Broncos twice. John Elway did not have great numbers against him. They actually threw more interceptions than touchdowns. And the whole idea for the Seattle defense is try to get into John Elway's face, get the hands up, and make him be accurate throwing through the arm.
McCaffrey wide to the near side. Anthony Miller wide to the far side. Split backs, he'll throw. Steps forward and can scramble for it. Way up the middle, wide open. And a headlong dive, not the slide, to the 45-yard line. John Elway. They gave him the middle, and he took it.
Well, they actually gave him an all-out jailbreak blitz. They just came after him, and coming off the corner was Blackman. Blackman went absolutely free on the outside. Look at this blitz. There's got stunts, you've got blitzes. John Elway sees the man coverage down the field. Because of those blitzes, you can't give John Elway even at 36 that much.
22 yards to the 45-yard line, and Terrell Davis goes over the top to the 47. He'll pick up a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as Winston Moss is there for the Seattle Seahawks. Well, he said that the Denver Broncos have to establish a rushing attack. I didn't know it was going to be John Elway who was going to establish it, though.
Well, if he has his druthers, he doesn't do that. He hands off to Terrell Davis and Aaron Craver. And I think what these guys really have done for John Elway is they've opened the line of communication between he and Gary Kubiak, the coordinator on the sidelines, because they have a bigger playbook because of what they can do with their running game.
2nd down. Elway to throw, rolls out of the pocket. Now he's even more dangerous. That throws as the man hits him. Pass is complete at the 35-yard line to Shannon Sharp. Bad ankle and all. Shannon Sharp is there with a key reception. Winston Moss and Darrell Williams on the stop for the Seahawks.
Charlie, we talked to Greg McMacken, their defensive coordinator from Seattle yesterday, and he said you cannot let John Elway get out to the right side. They bring the blitz. Cortez Kennedy's got contained. He can't keep him in. And who gets down there? Just the best tight wide receiver in the league, Sterling Sharp.
19 yards.
Shannon Sharp. Down. There he is. Shannon Sharp for a nice reception for a guy who's got a little bit of a bum ankle.
Coming inside is Aaron Craver to the 29-yard line, so he'll pick up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. So the 2 big plays, John Elway scrambling for 22 yards, and then the 19-yard pass to Shannon Sharp. This drive started back at the Denver 19, opening drive of the ballgame.
You know, it used to be you didn't let John Elway out because he was so good throwing right, but also because he could run so well. And John does not really run that well. If you give him the room they gave him a few plays ago, he'll take advantage of it. But I don't understand why people don't contain Mike Shanahan's quarterback better going specifically to the right. He'll just gut a defense.
2nd down and 6. Both backs in the block, and he ran out of time.
Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, and I don't know if he's yelling at the huddle or at the officials, because it's pretty easy to see the clock at the end of the field, Gary, are at 0. So that's got to be more of a question to his quarterback than to the guys in the striped shirts.
Ed Hockley is the referee. Now Elway filed a protest, a verbal protest. Ed goes down and I believe that's Ron Spiller, the field judge. I wonder if the clock was not set right. I wonder if that's what they're discussing.
There was a stoppage on the field by the officials, and the play clock was not reset to 25. Therefore, there's no foul, no play. 2nd down.
No foul, no play. And we're set to go once again, 29-yard line, 2nd down and 6. And that is what Elway was talking about. He has that clock in his head. So he was one of those, wait a minute, we didn't have enough time. Here's the drive already, just over 3.5 minutes. 6 plays, 62 yards.
2 big Elway plays. One a scramble to the right that results in a long play to Shannon Sharp.
Split backs again. This will be a free play. Seahawks were offside. As a man deep, and it is going to be intercepted. It will not hold up, though. Darrell Williams has the ball, but the Seahawks are in the neutral zone. Yeah, Elway had a free play. Otherwise, I don't think he would have thrown in that cover.
Probably the couple hundredth victim of the Elway Bart. Because John Elway lets loose with those lungs when he wants you off the line of scrimmage. He just screams and ends jump. You'll see the end result and then the nice play by Darrell Williams, but a moot point. Got it, got possession. It's a nice catch, but once again, offsides by the Seattle defense.
They'll place the ball at the 24-yard line. 2nd down and 1. Detron Smith comes into that offensive set as a running back.
Keep an eye on Shannon Sharp. This is the red zone area. They love to go to the tight end in this offense.
Number 84. Terrell Davis. He's going to get 1 yard. This will be close to the first down. Let's see where he gets the mark. Cortez Kennedy and Sam Adams on the tackle. Looks like about a half-yard shy.
No decision here. They bring in the extra tight end with Carswell. Aaron Craver at fullback. Remember also, you've got a rather substantial-sized quarterback in John Elway that can lean forward and get this kind of first down pretty easy.
Terrell Davis is turned away. He may not have gotten it. Cortez Kennedy leading the defense for the Seahawks.
It's going to depend on that far side foot.
Yes, it is.
That lead foot of the far side official, exactly where he judges that ball got to. But it was a nice play by the Seattle defense.
Yes. We're almost 5 minutes into the ball game. This is the opening drive of the Denver Broncos. They started back at their own 19-yard line. Denver coming in after winning last week. The Seahawks coming in after losing last week on the road. Decision time now for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan says go for it. I agree 100%. Opening drive, this situation, you go for it. Because your line came off well, blocked well, but one person, Sam Adams, got a little penetration down below, and that's who tripped up Terrell Davis.
4th down.
This is all about the level of the shoulder pads between the two lines, Charlie. The line with the lower shoulder pads wins this war.
It's going to be close again. There was a little continuing effort underneath the pile by Terrell Davis that might have gotten it. But again, it's going to be the mark from the officials.
Well, if there were 10, 11 shoulder pads on the Denver side, everybody but Elway's shoulder pads were above the defensive line. You don't mind the quarterback, you don't mind the running back, but the offensive line just got stuffed very effectively by that Seattle defense.
And that's 2 in a row.
That really is. I mean, that was a good physical job by that Seattle defense, but it was the extra effort, if it indeed is a first down. That goes to Terrell Davis.
Not quite the length of the football. So a struggle for the first down, but the Broncos have it. The drive continues.
A little sigh of relief from Mike Shanahan. Look at Brian Habib working right there at right guard, getting pushed back by Sam Adams into the backfield, and that's exactly what caused the little pile that distracted Terrell Davis, but the effort got the first down for Terrell.
23-yard line, first down. Elway to throw. He backs in the block. Will swing right side to Craver. He had to pull it down with one hand, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard. That's going to be it. Michael Barber, who's replacing Terry Wooden out with a hamstring, makes the tackle for the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, this is an example of what a defense like Dennis Erickson's wants John Elway and the Denver Broncos to do. That they want him to run the ball down the field. They want him to throw little passes, but they want him to have to go 10, 12, 11, 13, 14 plays to score. You don't want the huge play. You want to bend and hope you can get a big play against the Denver Broncos.
Slot right side, 3 wide receivers. They come back with a draw underneath. Nice hole for Terrell Davis. He will go to the 7-yard line before Robert Blackman can bring him down. A quick hitter on the right side of that offensive line. Nice play.
And there's a good illustration of what the Broncos in the last year or so have brought to the party, and now that this guy's in the backfield. You just run a little draw with Terrell Davis getting pretty good blocking up front. And that acceleration into the backfield, the safety, Blackman, is hitting him from the side by the time he accelerates into the backfield. If that is not, a tackle isn't made there, that's 6 points for Terrell Davis. What a great ad last year for the Broncos.
Opening that hole. And here is Terrell Davis to the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go. So now in the drive that started back in the 19-yard line, 3 big plays. 22-yard scramble by John Elway, the 19-yard pass to Shannon Sharp, and then the 15-yard run by Terrell Davis. And we have an injured player, and we've got a timeout. We'll step aside. We'll be back to Seattle in just a moment.
55, the final word in acid relief. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser. Get fresh, get Bud.
As we come back to Seattle, Sam Adams, the injured player, being assisted to the sideline.
He was
tenderly.
He was locked up with Nail in the center, Charlie, and he gets bent back over a pile. Watch 66, the center, working right there in the middle of the screen against Adams. Then Schlereth on the backside, and everything gets bent back over the pile there with Adams. Big blow to the Seattle defense.
No way to throw, and it is incomplete. That was 2nd down and goal to go at the 5. Ed McCaffrey, the intended receiver. Corey Harris was there for the defense. So it's 3rd down and goal to go.
You know, one thing, if Sam Adams is out for any extended period of time at defensive tackle, and the problem that Greg McMackin has is he's been rotating his tackles with Glenn Montgomery, Cortez Kennedy, and Sam Adams to keep people fresh. Now suddenly you don't have 3 tackles to do that with. Could be a real conditioning factor later in the game with only 2.
Now for Denver, 3 wide receivers plus Shannon Sharp, the tight end on the right side. They come back to the ground. He straights up, leaning to the goal line. It is Terrell Davis. He will not go in. Now another decision for Mike Shanahan. Cortez Kennedy of the Seahawks is the man who stopped it.
Well, Mike Shanahan's going to go for 6 points here. He's got to get himself in the end zone. Remember, last time these 2 teams met at Mile High Stadium, Mike Shanahan's Broncos had a 20-0 lead on Seattle, and Seattle came back and beat them.
4th down, goal to go, 1-yard line.
Watch the shoulder pads once again.
We've got a timeout. And the Denver Broncos take a timeout to come to the sideline and talk over the play. Perhaps Elway did not like what was brought into him.
Well, he's got that much input. There's not many quarterbacks right now that, you know, harken back to the old days of the, you know, probably the last great quarterback that could have veto power was a guy like Dan Fouts.
Well, the pecking order goes from the head coach to the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, and John Elway can basically say what he does and doesn't like,
right.
And he can go to Mike Shanahan or to Gary Kubiak, his coordinator. But you know, the bottom line here too is, remember, you've got them minus one of their great penetrators, the defensive tackle Sam Adams, who was off to a good start. You've got Glenn Montgomery in at defensive tackle now, so that enters into the mind of an offensive coach and a quarterback like John Elway. To the extent, Charlie, they're sending in the kicker now.
Guess what the decision is?
Yeah. They're going to go for the field goal. I personally, on an opening drive like this, I think you go for 6 points. I think you try to jam it into the end zone. You've eaten up the clock. You've put in a hurt on this defense conditioning-wise. I think that's the only way to finish it off, personally.
I have the feeling that if they had not almost been held on the short yardage earlier, when they were out some 20, 25 yards from they are now, they might have done it. But here they go for an 18-yard field goal attempt. Got it. And it is good. Jason Elam from 18 yards away, and Denver moves on top. This is the opening drive. It took almost 8 minutes. Broncos are up 3-0. We have 7 minutes and 8 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first quarter after the opening drive. Denver is up over Seattle by a score of 3-0. And here's that drive, 80 yards in 15 plays, officially 7 minutes, 52 seconds. Jason Elam with the 18-yard field goal. And Elam now will kick it away. Steve Broussard is the deep back, and he's going to return it from the goal line. There's some room outside, breaks through the 30. And then will be pushed out of bounds in the neighborhood of the 40-yard line. So a 40-yard return. James finally got to him and growled him out of bounds. So now let's look at that Seattle Seahawks offense led by the quarterback Rick Meyer and now his offensive line.
Let's keep an eye on Pete Kendall, that rookie offensive guard. He's a big, physical lineman out of Boston College.
Backs and receivers.
I really like Chris Warren.
Oh, yeah.
He is the smoothest, fastest back in the NFL.
He is number 42. Odds on, he'll carry the ball, and he does. Not a lot there. He still will pick up a couple to the 41-yard line. Romanowski bringing down Chris Warren. The Denver front four, led by the quickness of Michael Dean Perry.
And really in the nickel, we talk about Loaders comes out and Jumpy Gathers comes in, and folks, you got to see the forklift on the pass rush.
The forklift returns. Linebackers in secondary.
And even the Seattle coaches are very impressed and very concerned with the rookie John Mobley at linebacker.
Second down and 8. Warren, the remaining back. Across the 45 out to the 47-yard line. He'll pick up 6. It'll be 3rd down and 2. And again, the linebacker, Bill Romanowski, making the tackle for the Broncos.
You know, I love watching about this guy, really, Chris Warren, is the way he runs is so deceiving, especially for guys like Romanowski and this whole linebacker core. We talk about the great speed of the linebackers now for the Denver Broncos, but they can really get lulled to sleep by that smooth kind of gliding style of Chris Warren. You know, you're running all out. He looks like he's gliding, but he's gliding about a second faster than you can run.
Meyer to throw, and it is caught. First down. Brian Blades goes up, and he brings it down, and that is career reception number 499. Only one away from the 500 career mark.
The most important thing for the Seattle receivers working with Rick Meyer early, give him a target. You know he knows where to throw the ball, but give him a physical target to put that ball in. And you saw Blades turn his chest to the quarterback and give him somewhere to throw it.
Max Strong is the fullback. Play action fake on first down. Did it slip out of his hand?
Guess who? It slipped out because Alfred Williams came around from the backside and assaulted him from the back. Something that this Broncos defense developed last week and continues to show is an effective pass rush. Watch Alfred Williams coming around from the outside, working against Atkins.
He just chops the arm.
Yeah, you know, that's a quarterback can never see that type of thing. And if you're a left tackle, you cannot let that happen to your quarterback.
Second down and 10. Warren comes in motion. Pass is complete to Christian Fourier. And so the Seahawks come right back as they continue on their opening drive.
Christian Fourier, starting for the first time here in '96, had a broken index finger with a couple of pins in it. Hasn't played much, but this is what he adds. You know, he reminds me a lot of a tight end I played with at San Francisco by the name of John Frank, who's now a orthopedic surgeon. He's really gone on with his life and left football, was done with it, wore the same number as Fourier, 86, but he was also able to make people miss like that in the backfield.
Gain of 16 yards on the play. First down, 28-yard line. And here is one just looking through. Has an opening. Slides to his left. And he goes to the 24-yard line. Reality, there wasn't anything there. He picks up 4 yards before Lionel Washington finally gets it.
You know Chris Warren is running the ball at home on this carpet when you hear the crowd. The crowd doesn't really say much when he gets the ball. It's like a collective and then when he starts to break, they go, yeah! Well, that time he was grabbed by the foot, but that showed you that slide and that glide. And if he gets that last acceleration, he is gone.
Joey Galloway, the speedster, wide to the near side. Blades is in the slot. Blades will go across the north. Nothing there. Absolutely nothing there for Chris Warren. John Mobley closed it down, the rookie linebacker.
And that's how you put the stops on an auto glide running back, as you get that kind of penetration. Watch the penetration by the Denver defense. Lodish, 97, fights across the face of a double team, gets into the backfield along with Mobley, and if you're going to glide and you're going to take a little time before you make your decision against a quick defense, you're going to get hit in the backfield.
Loss of a yard, 3rd down, 7. Warren, the remaining back. 8th play of the drive. On target. And he hits Joey Galloway.
I love the end of that play. What he does here is he finds the spot in the defense where his quarterback can get him the ball, and he presents his body in a target to Meyer. Look at this. He turns, gives him the target. Now he plays water bug. Look at that. He's trying to turn right on the surface of the water, trying to crawl around the defense.
He needed 7, and he got 9. First down, 16-yard line. Twice in this drive now, the Seahawks have converted on third down. 16-yard line of Denver. Broncos are up 3-0. Field goal off of their opening drive. And here's Chris Warren left side.
This is two pretty good offensive series right back to back.
Yep.
But now watch the handoff, Charlie. Initially at the handoff time, that ball was kind of bobbled around right there, and only one arm on the ball. That's awful dangerous when you get inside. Even for a great back like Warren, you got to know you get inside around those linemen and linebackers, you better wrap both those mitts around that football.
12-yard line, second down and 2. Warren inside, slipping and sliding and gliding to the 10. Once again, not a lot there, but he manages to pick up 2. So it'll be third down and 4. Tyrone Braxton moves up from free safety and makes the tackle. Braxton told us he's not a big hitter. He's just a tackler. He hangs on, brings him down, hangs on, waits for help.
Well, he had a great description, too. Braxton says, you know, I'm going to tackle you. You're not going to have any problem getting up, but I'm the last line in defense. So when you get to me, I'm going to put you on the ground. You might not be very impressed by the tackle, but you are going down.
And here is the opening drive of the Seattle Seahawks. They will show now a double tight end set, but before they show that, they have taken a timeout, and that stops the clock with 1 minute and 1 second left in a very fast-moving first quarter.
Mitsubishi Motors presents Diamond.
This is the NFL on NBC.
So far, a impressive answering foray from Dennis Erickson's offense right here. They've responded to John Elway's drive down the field, which resulted in a field goal with a drive of their own. And I'll be honest, in a game that Denver should win, anytime you're the team that should win and you settle for field goals, you're asking for trouble.
Myers completed 3 of 4 for 34 yards. Warren has rushed to 17, his longest being 6. Play action fake. Left man is there, bumped out of bounds. It's Max Strong, the fullback, who pulls it in, and Washington immediately hits him for the Denver Broncos. That again was third down and 4, and that means that Todd Peterson will come in, as the Seattle Seahawks will now try to match Jason Elam's field goal and tie up the ball game with less than a minute to go in the first quarter. He'll be kicking from the 17-yard line and attempt a 27 yards.
You know, something that's always difficult indoors in these giant living rooms when you're on the field goal team is the snap. The ball is always slippery inside.
And here is the kick. Dead solid, perfect. Opening drive, Denver, 3 points. Opening drive, Seattle, 3 points. We are tied. 30 seconds left. First quarter, back in a moment. We are tied at 3 with matching opening drive. Denver 80 yards, 15 plays. Seattle 52 yards, 12 plays, with an excellent kickoff return thrown in. Matching field goals, tied at 3 is Von Hebron on the return. Across the 20, out to the 22-yard line. Dave Bellamy gets him at that point.
Yeah, Charlie, you talked about those opening drives. If you follow me on this, you know, Denver has to settle for 3 points in their opening drive.
Yeah.
I think Seattle got 3 points in their opening drive. They're happy to have that field goal to match John Elway's, because anytime you can match the Denver Broncos offense, you're setting yourself up for a good finish.
This time Elway starts from his own 23-yard line. Play action fake on first down. Buys time. Goes deep. Wide open is Terrell Davis. Ball pops loose. Seahawks have it. Darrell Williams comes up with it. They will rule he did not have possession. It will only be an incomplete pass.
Charlie, I got to see that.
Oh, yeah.
he looked like he caught it and had his feet just hitting the ground as the contact was made.
Robert, pass was incomplete. Brings up second down.
Now you'll find out if you need instant replay.
The great thing about this offense having a run is it's predicated on play action. Good play action fake. Let's see did he have it? Is it a catch? 1, 2. I tell you, I think that's a catch. He had that, then dropped it.
Can we look at that can we look at that again at regular speed? At regular speed, because that's really the only way you can tell. Because your eye then will tell you, now this is regular speed.
Does he have it? He's got it.
Yes.
It's gone. That's right. A catch. That's a fumble. That's a bad call.
You're right. Here's a sweep to the near side by Davis. Antonio Edwards got a piece of his ankle and said that he was down there by contact at the 20-yard line, but he was not marked down at the 20-yard line.
The head linesman is going to mark the ball right there, Charlie. It's going to be there in the backfield.
Then Antonio Edwards was right. Meanwhile, the first quarter has come to a close, so as soon as we have
the ball carrier's knee touchdown at the 20-yard line, third down.
So that does make it official. The end of the quarter. We're tied at 3.
First quarter.
We'll be back with the second quarter as the action continues in Seattle. Don't go away. This is Charlie Jones, Randy Cross. We start the second quarter tied. It'll be third down and 14 at the 19-yard line. Elway has completed only 205 for 20 in the first quarter, and he was throwing into triple coverage, and he decided it wasn't there and just skipped it in underneath where nobody could pick it up. McCaffrey was surrounded by Seahawks. It'll be fourth down.
You know, really, when he watches the tapes here tomorrow when he gets back home to Denver, I think what he's going to see on this play is his tight end, Shannon Sharp, which is lined up right over in here, ends up being wide open right over the ball. But John starts getting a little pressure. He starts wanting to force this thing in there, and instead of going to McCaffrey, he had an open receiver in Shannon Sharp for first down.
Tom Ruin kicking to Joey Galloway. Fair catch at the 40-yard line. And so the Denver Broncos, on their opening drive, it led to a field goal. Their second drive, well, it was 3 and out. Now, the Seattle Seahawks opening drive, that led to a field goal. They'll start their second drive, very good field position at their own 40-yard line.
Well, anytime you're talking, 3-3, a couple long drives, you start developing into a field position football game. Now, after it got tied 3-3, Denver started backed up. Seattle's defense stops them. What's that result in? That results in very good field position for Rick Meyer and the Seattle offense. They've got to take advantage of it against this Denver Bronco team now.
And if you're with us, if you're over your telecast, Rick Meyer, not at all a happy attitude going into it, but more resigned, and yet he comes out with a very strong first quarter. Galloway, the intended receiver, Washington with the coverage. It'll be second down and 10, 40-yard line.
Well, it's a tight pass, but it's more of kind of a, okay, Joey, go ahead and go get it. Good coverage by Washington, but that one was laid right on the inside shoulder of Joey Galloway. I just think it got on him a little bit faster than Galloway expected it to.
Chris Warren, the remaining back, second and 10. Warren, straight shot up the middle, nothing there. Broncos shut it down right at the line of scrimmage as they answer the challenge. Alan Aldridge, the linebacker for Denver, making the tackle, and we have another Seahawk down. Earlier, Sam Adams was hurt, but he has appeared back in the ball game. He, of course, a defensive tackle for the Seahawks. That is number 66, Pete Kendall, the rookie first-round draft choice.
That's something Dennis Erickson doesn't need, is to disrupt that offensive line, because that's an offensive line that's had training camp, preseason to start coming together. It's a group they've sort of molded back together with this rookie in there also. It's really turning into, I think, what could be down the line a pretty good offensive line, but the bottom line on teamwork on a line is you can't have interchangeable parts.
And you know that ankle hurts when he cannot put any weight on it at all. 6'5", 292 pounds.
And all 292 is hopping on that left foot,
Yeah,
Charlie.
you
That's
bet it is, yeah. First round pick from Boston College.
Well, he's walking now that he's off the field. Maybe he thinks he's out of camera range. That's one of the dangers.
Oh, you're tough. You're tough.
It's one of the dangers of this carpet, though.
That's true.
You can get your ankle caught and turned over, and you say I'm tough. You don't think linemen don't know that? Only backs and receivers, can celebrate and do dances and know when the camera's on them. I never met a camera or microphone I didn't like when I was playing.
That's right. You knew where they were. Did you see the replay earlier of Keyshawn Johnson?
Yeah, I'd rather
scoring the touchdown.
I'd rather I did.
That was a bit much, I thought. But again, he didn't pull the man. Meyer, shoot up the middle. Now he gets Brown. He's trying to buy it all the time. I think he thought he might not be in front of the line of scrimmage. He looked over and he saw the markers and whoops, I've gone too far. I better head downfield.
That was a scramble that turned into a uh-oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he got up and scrambled forward, got past the line of scrimmage, suddenly noticed he had his halfback, Chris Warren, right next to him. Hey, I can throw it. No, I better not throw it to him. I'm past the line of scrimmage. Time to find a hole to dive into.
Second drive for the Seahawks, like the Broncos, 3 and out, and that means that Rick Tootin will be kicking. Todd Kinchin is the return man for Denver. We're tied at 3.
The key to field position football is patience.
Whoa, look at this. Hello. Right on the goal line.
It's a spectacular touchback is all that is, Charlie.
A 56-yard spectacular touchback. We'll step aside, tied at 3. 13 and a half left first half.
Do I like to shop?
The good news for Seattle is that Rick Tootin's left knee, their punter, is okay because he certainly nailed that one high and long. Andy will tell you about the bad news right after this play as Craver finds a bit of an opening and scoots for about 8 yards to the 20 to the 28-yard line.
Well, Charlie, by the bad news, and you see that nice run by Craver, and what that sets up is, Tootin did sprain that left knee, didn't punt at all this week. First one out of the box. 57 yards. He's wearing the little paddle brace on that left leg. That is his plant leg. I don't like that. And if I'm the Seattle coaches, I don't like that kick. I want to play field position football that isn't giving the team the ball on the 20, that's hoping you get it inside around the 10, and then you get the ball back around the 40. You're trying for positive field position.
Here's Craver on the right side. It was second down and 3, almost to the 30-yard line. Michael Barber making the tackle. He has to get to the 30 since it was a touchback started at the 20. Don't need to even bother with the measurement. Short of there, and it'll be third down.
And Charlie, the whole idea around field position football really is for guys like John Elway, a great quarterback. If you're playing field position football, you want your quarterback to have the shorter field, the great quarterback to have the long field. Whether it's Elway, Montana, whoever, you want to make them go 80, 90 yards to beat you.
And Denver was 60 yards rushing, showing their effective rushing attack through the first 18 minutes of the first half. Terrell Davis this time, and it is Corey Harris who rolls him under.
Well, remember, we refer to Chris Warren as a glider and a smooth back. You don't refer to either one of these running backs for Denver as a glider and a smooth guy. Both Craver and Terrell Davis, they hit the ball. I mean, they hit the hole yesterday. They're there so fast. I mean, these guys go after the line of scrimmage.
First down, 34-yard line. In case you're just joining us, pair of field goals following 2 long drives. We are tied at 3. Elway's going to be sacked. Michael Sinclair gets the sack.
You know, when you're talking about tank warfare, General Patton always talked about the pincher movement, coming in from the outside, being aggressive at the enemy from the front. That's exactly what the Seahawks defensive line did. They were very aggressive up front. Elway had nowhere to go, and Sinclair and the pincher movement from the outside get the sack.
Back to the 30-yard line, loss of 4, second and 14.
Been watching too much late-night TV, huh?
You've got to get to bed earlier. That's all. From the shotgun. Elway is sacked again. Ball popped loose. Seattle has it. Sinclair gets him again. 2 in a row for Michael Sinclair.
Sinclair working against Broderick Thompson. And the pinchers get him again. Watch him fight. Gets the rip, gets by. Elway very cool, very calm in the pocket. Sees he's in trouble, but it's too late. A nice stripping motion by Sinclair. Watch his right arm. He knows he's got the sack. Now he wants the ball. And he knocks that ball out of there, and wisely, Dean Wells just sort of hatches that egg and lays on it.
And here comes Chris Warren, right side, good hole. And now the crowd into the ball game for the first time, and Warren is close to a first down.
You know, when you're talking about playing in this concrete box, I don't care if this place isn't full. You get the crowd going crazy, it gets loud. And this crowd loves to watch this guy run. And you give him that kind of a hole on the right side where he can look, he can accelerate, and then he has a cutback option, forget about it.
Chains come out for the measurement. 10 minutes, 37 seconds, time remaining, second quarter. Tied at 3. It is a first down.
Well, Robinson knows right now, Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator for Denver, is that, you know, his quarterback, John Elway's got a long field. And because of that turnover, Rick Meyer, the Seattle quarterback's got himself a nice short field, and that is a problem for the Denver defense, set up by that man right there, Sinclair, number 70, sack and strip.
Warren is clogged up, bounces back. He's going to end up losing yardage as the Bronco defense was there, this time led by Ray Crockett.
You know, one thing you know about a Denver defense, that it's starting to play well. It's getting good play from their defensive linemen and their linebackers when Greg Robinson's best tackler, Steve Atwater, is hardly ever around the ball. You saw him right there defending that cutback on Chris Warren, but he wasn't much of a factor last week because the people in front of him were so good.
Second down and 14, 26-yard line. Three wide receivers. Backside pressure kind of throws it underhanded to Chris Warren, and he was wrapped up immediately by the man that you were talking about and that you looked at, Steve Atwater.
Well, he might not be there and might not be much of an impact last week or maybe the first couple of plays here, but when you need him, you got to have him. He can figure out a play and sniff it out as good as anybody, and is that guy an effective tackler? That is not an easy back to tackle, and Atwater does a form tackle.
And suddenly it is third down and 16, 28-yard line. Remember, his first and 10 a moment ago after the measurement at the 22, and now the Seahawks moving backwards.
Comes the blitz.
Pass is complete as Mike Pritchard goes up, the former Bronco, and brings it down. That'll get them only to the 23-yard line. Washington with the tackle and the field goal attempt. Will be coming up next.
Nice job, though, by Rick Meyer. Look at the blitzes here, here, here. They are all coming after Meyer. He knows it. The chances of a big play are get rid of it quick and hope your receiver can make a play. His receiver gets the ball, can't make the play, but more importantly, sets up a much more reasonable field goal attempt.
Todd Peterson from 40 yards. He is hit from 27. And it's going to scoot through. So Peterson with his second field goal of the ball game. And the Seattle Seahawks have taken a 3-point lead over the Denver Broncos. 8:16 left to go. We're in the second quarter. Seahawks are up 6-3. Charlie Jones, Randy Cross, Seattle 6, Denver 3. Peterson will be kicking off for Seattle. Von Hebron is the return man, and he will field it at the 6-yard line. To the 15 and is nailed. Whoa! Helmet to helmet with Michael Barber, and Barber won.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. I like that kind of contact.
It was Jason Kyle. Jason Kyle. Oh.
Jason Kyle absolutely separates Von Hebron from the here and now.
Right there.
And the ball. And is that a lucky bounce or what?
Is.
You know what that thing does? Watch what it does. The hit comes. Hebron goes away. The ball goes away. But it hits Kyle in the head and comes back to Hebron. Wow. That is a very lucky bounce for Denver, because that's worst case against this Seattle team in this loud stadium.
Denver, their own 16-yard line, first down. Elway coming off of a pair of sacks. Throws underneath the covers to Anthony Miller, and Miller goes racing out of bounds. Miller's first reception of the ball game, and number 495 in his career. He needs only 5 more to reach the 500 mark.
Corey Harris, the cornerback for the Hawks, made an interesting assessment of Miller. He said, you know, he's probably lost a step or so, and he's not quite as fast as he used to be, and you're kind of waiting for the rest of the statement, but he smiles and says, well, yeah, he's still probably faster than most guys that want to cover him.
That's right. And that's a good assessment. Elway to throw as protection. Has a man wide open. It's Anthony Miller. Back to back to Anthony Miller. His second reception, and Elway was nailed right after he made the release.
Remember, this is a quarterback who's got legs and knees that look like an interstate map. You've got to give him protection. You can't let people get down low on this quarterback, or he's going to get hurt, and that's just where they hit him, on the side of the knee. But being the stud pro he is, he delivers that ball to Miller in the perfect spot. But look at that, right into the side. He doesn't have any cartilage left in either one of those knees.
Denver at their own 49-yard line, first down. From the 16 to the 49 in 2 plays. Here's the sweep right side. Crater. Not a lot there. You have a feeling that Elway was just buying a little time before he throws again. Gain of 3 to the Seattle 48. It'll be second down and 7. Glenn Montgomery with the tackle.
We talk about Shannon Sharpe being a heck of a receiver. He is listed as a tight end. One of the jobs, you got to occasionally try to block a defensive end. That is what we can courteously call that a physical mismatch. Because Sinclair, he did everything but put his hand on Shannon's forehead and say, stay away from me, son.
That's like a movie. Fistful of Jersey.
That's right. Or Get Shorty.
That's it. Second down and 7. Elway sets, throws high, pulled down. It is Anthony Miller again. 3 receptions on the drive. Carlton Gray with the tackle.
And if you have any doubts about Anthony Miller on this drive, you're about to find out why John Elway loves to have this guy in the offense. Speed is a very misunderstood thing at times. People think speed means you can get down the field fast. You know what speed also does for you on short patterns? You get open faster.
Good point. And with Elway's arm, he can get the ball there so quick. Little swing left side. Aaron Craver. Craver high stepping. Steps through 3 different tackles into the end zone. Leaving the Seahawks out behind him, and he has left the building.
He and Elvis. I tell you one thing, Charlie, a wonderful effort by Craver. That play is made by 2 people. That guy right there, John Elway, reading this defense, and Ed McCaffrey, the wide receiver. Watch to the left of Craver, right there. See the block on Corey Harris? McCaffrey gets just enough of Harris, frees Craver up, and then it's all Craver's ability to go score the touchdown and go away. I guess you might want to come back.
And here is the extra point attempt, and it is up, and it is good. The Denver Broncos have recaptured the lead. The reaction of John Elway. Denver is up by a score of 10 to 6. John Elway setting a team record, appearing in his 192nd career game. Here's a kickoff to Steve Broussard. Broussard on the return. He breaks a couple of tackles. He's now out to the 30. A nice return near the 38-yard line. For Steve Broussard, the Seahawks are right back in the middle of this one. Now let's go back to John Elway. He broke the record of Tom Jackson. Remember what he said? I was here with Jackson. Played in his 192nd game, and he looked so old.
Well, you know,
I don't look as old as he looked.
You are officially old when you start breaking longevity records in an organization.
The 2 quarterbacks, we set it up at the top of the show. Here's their comparison.
Well, you know, John Elway's had the long field, and Rick Myers got the great completion percentage, but he's also had the short field to go, and that's what Broussard's return does. It sets it up another short field.
Starting from the 38-yard line, and they'll come back with Chris Warren. Warren to the 44-yard line. That's good for about 6. Second down and 4. Let's go back to the Denver touchdown.
Well, we make a big deal about quarterbacks taking what they're going to get. He takes Craver, but watch the job right there that McCaffrey does on Corey Harris. He's getting the pressure, is Elway. He says, what the heck, I got to flip it to the fullback. McCaffrey downfield realizes his back's coming, gets just enough of a block, and then it's high steps and straight arms and 6 points.
Reminiscent of Bo Jackson leaving the building here in Seattle. Max Strong, nothing there.
But that's the difference between a fullback and a halfback. See, a fullback's like a pickup truck. They can stop in a shorter distance. Bo went about 75 yards. It took him somewhere out into the street outside the stadium to slow that unit down.
He parked a couple of valet parking in the cars and then came back. Dennis Erickson, the Seahawks head coach. Third down and 5, 43-yard line. Denver leads it by a score of 10-6.
Time for a good, smart decision for Meyer. No mistakes here.
Better than 2-1 total offense for Denver. Pass right on target of Joey Galloway. Almost got loose. He is so quick. Tyrone Braxton with the tackle. We talked to him yesterday, and he said the difference in last year and this year, that he had more problems getting back to the huddle on time.
Well, this guy is blue poison to me. I mean, he's gonna kill you. If he gets in your system, he is gonna kill you. He can do it with a short pass. People talk about, why don't you throw the ball down the field? The heck with down the field. He's a great punt returner. Give him the ball for 2 yards and let him take it 7.
He's the quiet man. Here's Chris Warren. Inside the 40, 39-yard line. He'll pick up about 4 yards on first down.
And if it's possible, Charlie, the great halfback here in Seattle from Ferrum,
yes,
Chris Warren, is quieter. You know, Joey Galloway is a very quiet guy, but nobody is more just unaffected by what he's done and what he's achieved than Chris Warren.
Second down.
Look out for 84. Imagine this guy's only in his second year.
Two-step drop, go out, missed 84. Galloway, the intended receiver. Be third down and 6.
I think that's what you want to do. They've got Galloway matched up with Torrey James, number 20, who's one of the nickel or dime backs for the Denver defense. You got to love that matchup all day long if you're Seattle. And like I said, you don't have to run streaks. Speed is deceiving. We saw what Anthony Miller could do with his speed, getting open early. That is a great punt returner and runner of the football after he catches it, Joey Galloway. He's got that matchup again at the bottom of the screen.
And it's going up and pulling down the ball is Bill Romanowski.
Remember I talked about a bad decision? Time to make smart ones. That was a dumb mistake by Meyer. He's got the double slant working to his left. It is very well covered by the Denver defense.
And he looked at it all the way.
Eat the ball. Run it. Do not throw it because you're giving it to the other guy. Circus catch by Romanowski.
Just over 2.5 minutes. That is the time remaining in the first half. Denver now with the ball at their own 35-yard line following the interception by Bill Romanowski. Elway comes out throwing, has an opening, steps into it. Now he's being chased. Flag is down, and Elway is down. Sinclair gets him on the sack. But there may have been a block from behind.
Well, you had to hold
the Broncos. Is it holding?
Yeah, you had a little too good a grasp of your technique by somebody up front for the Denver Broncos. But, you know, John Elway is going to start feeling like Neil O'Donnell here pretty soon if he doesn't get better protection from his offensive line.
With the sack, though, they may refuse it.
Holding by the offense, number 66. The penalty is declined. Brings up second down.
Well, that hold is against Nalen working inside. And when you're holding and you're playing Seattle inside as a center, I like the odds and chances. You're working probably against the Cortez Kennedy. Look at the handful of shirt, jersey, skin, pads. He had everything.
And you saw the diving body of Michael Sinclair going after his third sack. Elway has to get rid of it. Dumps it off to Davis. Davis down the sideline. Hey, Davis or Craver get outside, particularly on the far side, and they can find some running room. 2-minute warning will be coming up now, and we will take a timeout. So we'll step aside. Denver 10, Seattle 6. Back in a moment.
Well, let's take a look at the game inside the game. Brian Habib going against Sam Adams. You know, you say you can call holding on every play. How about that one? Nice little pull down, takedown. You could have called holding on that, but it wasn't. It was a good play for Denver.
John Elway has completed 7 of 11 for 114 yards. Fires this one on the run. It should be the first down. He goes to Mike Sherrard. No, they're going to say he didn't have it. Robert Blackman had the coverage on him.
Well, you know you got John Elway's attention and Mike Shanahan's attention. And Sinclair has their attention when they start doing those little quick rolls and they start blocking down with a tight end to help the tackle on a defensive end. They got to find a way to neutralize this guy that's coming right into Elway's face.
Now that was 3rd down and 2, so that means that Tom Ruin is going to kick it away to Joey Galloway, one of the premier punt return men in the National Football League. This is almost straight up and down. And is going to take a Seattle Seahawks roll. They'll have field position starting at the 40-yard line. The tradition of Notre Dame football returns to NBC Sports next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Time. Ron Wallace and the Fighting Irish welcome the Boilermakers of Purdue. That's next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern as the Fighting Irish host Purdue, presented by Chevy Trucks. Meyer, of course, from Notre Dame. He has completed 7 of 11, as Elway had a moment ago. But Rick Meyer has thrown for only 53 yards, and he has had an interception.
And on that interception, Charlie, I mentioned the fact that it was a double slant pattern. A lot of people do this. Watch the double slants into the defense. That's fine. The defense does a nice job of covering them. See this? They're both covered, so there's nowhere to go, right? There's nowhere to go, right? Rick, there's nowhere to go. Don't throw the ball right into a double coverage on a wide receiver like that. That's part of the maturity process that Dennis Erickson keeps talking about with Meyer. He says it's a 5 or 6 year process, and like we said at the beginning of the game, I disagree. I think after 4 years or so, you're ready to show people you're either a starter or a backup.
Particularly when you've been playing.
Yeah, if you're on the bench for 4 years, that's another story.
All right, we have the conference over a pair of flags. Ed Ockley is going to sort it out for all of us. If the punt stands up, only 17 yards net.
Illegal touching by number 21 of the kicking team. Went out of bounds and was the first player to touch the ball after coming inbounds. The penalty is declined. First down.
Seattle will start now from their own 40-yard line. They've got 1:46. Time remaining in the first half. And they are down by 4, 10-6.
I hate when that illegal touching happens like that.
All the time. You know something, though, when there is illegal touching, it opens the ball, it opens the door, a Pandora's box. The receiving team then can pick up the ball, and after it's almost down, they can do all kinds of things and always get the ball back at the point of the illegal touching. Little known rule. And there's a reason for it, too. Nothing there. Ball's forward, flag is down. Meyer's going to lose a couple of yards. Lodish and Michael Dean Perry were there.
Yeah, another case of a hold that
against Seattle.
That will be turned down because it results in a sack. There's no real reason to do it here. And it was just sort of a full-on takedown in that case.
Holding by the offense, number 74. The penalty is declined. Brings up second down.
And we talked about the job earlier done. James Atkins having a hard time. Here he is working right here. Watch him working against Dan Williams. Gets that quick, look at that rip in that arm and that takedown. That's taking care of your quarterback, though. An offensive line coach will rarely get mad about a tackle doing that.
Second down and 13. Pressure to the backside. Hit ball is loose. Denver says they have it.
Down by contact. Ed Hockley is all over it, but that was Crockett coming from the backside. Meyer never saw him.
And And with the turn of events, the Denver Broncos have an opportunity as we take the look.
Well, this is your blind side.
Oh.
You don't know Crockett's coming. You can't protect yourself. One more time. See the back? That is a defensive back's blitzing dream. All you see is the back of the helmet and the number 3. Look at Crockett coming out of the slot there, number 39. You know, I'll be honest, a lot of quarterbacks in this league with a pre-snap look are going to guess something like that's coming and take a peek. Rick Meyer never had an idea.
In Seattle now, they want to take a timeout to regroup. They stop the clock. 1:37 time remaining, second quarter, back in a moment. One minute, 37 seconds, time remaining, first half. Denver at the 30-yard line. Terrell Davis gets the call.
Hey, you saw John Elway earlier getting that ankle taped up and trying to restrict the movement on that ankle. I don't care if he's got one ankle limping a little bit. This guy is dangerous in this part of the field after a turnover.
Tell me how they were taping the ankle.
Well, they were taping it just to restrict the movement. He got it rolled over, so they get the extra strips in there so it can't roll over again. Don't worry about rollovers in Seattle. You worry about touchdown passes.
2nd and 5. Elway fires over the middle, and it is caught. Shannon Sharp. And Denver takes a timeout.
Man, has this guy still got a gun or what? I mean, that was a laser beam. That thing just gets there like now. That thing is a burp.
Can we do that again in regular speed just to show how quickly it does get there? Oh, he gets there.
Here's Sharp at tight end. Look him work up the field, get into the hole, and I guarantee you one thing. If you're a receiver, you better turn your head now. So you better start looking at John Elway, or he'll absolutely stick that ball right in your face mask. They'll count it as a catch, but you might put your eye out.
You keep looking at all times if you're a receiver for the Denver Broncos. Now, regular speed. How quick does the ball get there? Watch Shannon Sharp.
Now watch him. He turns his head. He gets in the hole. Zap.
There. Between two defenders. Whoa.
Well, the big unit here in Seattle, Randy Johnson, can bring that ball, and John Elway for Denver can bring it.
11-yard line, first down in the corner. Did he get it? No. Ed McCaffrey on that timing fade into the corner of the end zone. Carlton Gray went right with it.
And what a great example of a quarterback that's got the whole package, Charlie. You talk about the laser beam. Now he puts up a dirigible.
The high touch.
And this dirigible's been up a little bit too long. You think McCaffrey wouldn't love for that ball to get there faster before he can get that second foot down? The first one was down. The second one couldn't get down in time.
Remember when Elway came into the league? He's got the arm. He's got the perfect touch. Oh, didn't take long. Here's Davis on the draw. That was second down. He may just want to take some time off of the clock, figuring that now he'll throw into the end zone on third down, and then if that doesn't work, then you go with the field goal.
Yeah, one thing that's becoming a little predictable about this running offense for Denver now that they have it, they love to run inside. Defenses are starting to stack inside. If you're going to do that, you got to play action off it, or you got to develop an outside running game.
Third down. One-hand grab will not come home for Anthony Miller. Tried to bring it back, juggled it, could not hang on. 14 seconds left. Fourth down. Here comes Jason Elam.
Well, you know, Greg McMackin's defense for the Seattle Seahawks has really effectively handled at several times so far today this Denver offense in the red zone area. They've gotten down there quickly, but they've been extremely stingy, mainly because they've been so good at covering John Elway's receivers and making him go to the last option.
28-yard field goal attempt. It's ugly, but it's good. And it counts for 3. From 27 yards away for Jason Elam. He has now hit 2 field goals from 18 and now from 27. And that makes the score Denver 13 and Seattle 6 with 10 seconds left for the kickoff. Be sure to stay with us at halftime. It's Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, Chris Collinsworth is able to catch you up on all the scores and highlights from around the National Football League. Randy.
Charlie, I'll tell you, we've had some turnovers. You know, we've had interceptions. We've had fumbles from Seattle. We've had a situation where it looks like Denver's going crazy and dominating. They've got 10 first downs to the Seahawks 5, but it's 13-6. When you go in the locker room with Rick Meyer and the Seahawks, you've got to stress the fact that we've got this game close. We're within one play of tying this thing up. Don't get down. They are within striking distance. All we've done is turn the ball over. There's Erickson talking to his coordinator, Greg McMackin, defensively, and a lot of pressure on McMackin's defense because of the offense of Dennis Erickson.
Almost a musical. We've had turnovers. We've had turnovers. Yes, we have.
And one thing we haven't seen, we've seen those 3 turnovers and 2 field goals off it. Means good defense generally.
This is high and short, and will be taken by the up-back Reggie Brown. Flag is down. Reggie is down to the 28-yard line with 4 seconds. Time remaining in the first half. And the call will go against the returning team, the Seattle Seahawks. And you figure in this situation now, when you tack the penalty
During the return,
to the Seahawks
by the receiving team, number 99, 10-yard penalty. Seattle keeps the ball, first down.
Seattle just kneel down and leave the building.
You're hatching the egg here, Charlie. You're putting it down. You're sitting on it.
Right.
You're not doing anything cute. I mean, Greg Robinson there, the defensive coordinator for the Broncos, has got to look worried and act worried. That's his job.
That's Coach
and that's the safety's job in the huddle, Steve Atwater, to remind people what could happen. What's going to happen? A little hatching. They're just going down on the egg and letting that thing lie.
All right, now they all gather in the nest. And you're right. And there it is. So we'll take the countdown to make it official. Our score at halftime is Denver 13, Seattle 6. Right now, we want to send you to Greg Gumbel in our NFL and NBC halftime studio in New York City. Greg.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now,
Charlie Jones, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka, Chris Collinsworth. You are watching the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks, and the score now at halftime is 13-6 in favor of Denver. We expecting more out of the Seahawks than we've seen?
Especially at home. I would have thought that Chris Warren would have been able to get the running game going a little bit better. And you have to wonder now if John Freeze might get a look in the second half. Rick Meyer under a lot of pressure. He didn't play poorly in the first half, but he simply is unable to put that team in the end zone.
How about you guys?
Well, you know, I still like Denver. I think it's a tough. They've had a hard time playing at Seattle, and that's been historic. But I tell you, they're doing a good job. The thing I like most about them is the way they're playing defense. And they got to be doing something right if they shut down Chris Warren, because he's real.
All right. Meanwhile, John Elway is the guy who likes the defense the way it looks the best. 13-6, Denver is leading. In Dallas, they have reached halftime, and the Cowboys are leading the New York Giants 21-0. Troy Aikman has thrown 3 touchdown passes in this game to Deion Sanders, Kevin Williams, and to Emmitt Smith. Cincinnati and San Diego. Take a look at the highlights of San Diego leading at 14-7 as they approach halftime in Jack Murphy Stadium. Dave Shula looking for his first win of the year, the Bengals coach. Chargers drove 76 yards, and Leonard Russell capped it with a 1-yard run to make it 7-0 San Diego. Stan Humphries, 21 yards to Tony Martin in the corner of the end zone. San Diego up 14-0, and then just moments ago, Jeff Blake threw a 27-yard touchdown pass to Carl Pickens to cut the deficit to 14-7. One of the things that we looked for was a better performance out of the Bengals than what we've had so far this season.
I think the Bengals are surprised going the wrong way. We all thought they were going to be pretty good when the year started. I thought San Diego, we had some questions there. They made a lot of changes. I think they got new enthusiasm and played a good first game, of course, against Seattle, and they're playing a good first half here.
All right, Joe, one other score for you right now. The St. Louis Rams trail the San Francisco 49ers as they approach halftime. Out in San Francisco, it's 12-0. Coming up, we'll bring you scores and highlights from the early games. First, a word from the NFL and messages from your local station. And we welcome you back, everyone. Let's get you caught up on the early games played today, starting with the Chiefs' 19-3 win over the Oakland Raiders. Kansas City is now 2-0, and the Raiders fall to 0-2. A sore knee once again sidelining Oakland quarterback Jeff Hostetler. Chiefs already thin in the receiving ranks, lost Tamarick Vanover in the second quarter. He was hit by a pair of Raiders, suffered bruised ribs. He did not return. It was scoreless in the second quarter from the Oakland 1-yard line. Steve Bono off the play action to Tony Richardson scores his first NFL touchdown. Chiefs up 7-0. Raiders at the Kansas City 5. Billy Joe Hobart leveled by Derek Thomas, causing a fumble. James Hasty recovers and is gone. 80 yards for the touchdown. Chiefs take a 14-0 lead. Hasty, remember, burned the Raiders in overtime last year, returning an interception, 64 yards for the winning touchdown. The final score today, Kansas City 19 and Oakland 3. Joe, they need Jeff Hostetler.
They sure do. Haas, hurry back. That's the Raiders' only hope. And we're picking up right where we left off last year with Kansas City, a defensive touchdown. And I'd say this, free agency did not hurt this team. No changes. They started right off again with their team this year the way they were last year. No changes in personnel, and here they go.
One of the questions of the day was how were the Pittsburgh Steelers going to rebound from last week with the injury to Greg Lloyd and Mike Tomczak starting at quarterback? They rebounded very well. Steeler head coach Bill Cowher with the veteran Tomczak as his starter. 2 plays after the opening kickoff, defense set the tone. Vinny Testaverde picked off by Rod Woodson, who returns 43 yards for the score. Steelers up 7-0. It was 21-14 Pittsburgh in the second. Tomczak making Bill Cowher look very good. Threw for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns. This 20-yarder to Andre Hastings put the Steelers up 28-14. They won it by a score of 31-17. Mike Ditka coached Mike Tomczak, and you said in a quick fix situation he'd do very well.
I think he will. I mean, the reason he did well today, probably forgot everything I coached him about. But no, he's a good, solid football player. If you're going to play a lot of man-to-man defense, Mike Tomczak can pick that apart. And I think it's good for the Steelers when Cowher made a decision, Bill Cowher made a decision to put him in there. He's going to give him the experience and stability. I don't think he's going to panic. You know, I had him when he was a young man. He did panic, but I don't blame him for panicking after looking at me.
I wonder why he panicked.
All right.
You got this hanging in the background.
Pittsburgh Steelers a winner, 31-17. Chicago at Washington. The Redskins win it by a score of 10-3. A couple of Jimmy Johnson disciples doing battle in this one. Dave Wannstedt and Norv Turner. Game tied at 3 in the third. Bears driving. Michael Timpson, the catch, and then the fumble after he's hit, and Darrell Green recovers. 3 plays later, Terry Allen will take the handoff, dip to the outside, and go down the sideline untouched. 28 yards, gains only touchdown. Bears threatened at the end, but ended the game at the Washington 12-yard line. The Bears and the Redskins now 1-1 after today. Redskins win it 10-3. New England at Buffalo. The Bills win it 17-10, their second straight on the young season. Bills coach Marv Levy inducted into Buffalo's Wall of Fame before today's game. Congratulations, Marv. 10-3 Buffalo in the third. 1st and 10, Drew Bledsoe to Terry Glenn. The rookie with a diving catch rolls into the end zone, 38-yard TD, tied at 10. But in the fourth, 3rd and 23, Jim Kelly to Quinn Early. And this is good for 63 yards and a touchdown. Buffalo up 17-10. New England with 1 shot at it, time running down, 3rd and goal, 4 seconds to play. Dave Meggett stopped on the draw as time ran out. The Patriots fall to 0-2. The Bills are 2-0, 17-10 the final score. Indianapolis and the New York Jets. The Colts start the season 2-0 for the first time since 1977. 21-7 was the score. Neil O'Donnell alongside offensive coordinator Ron Earhart. 14-0 Indy just before halftime. Neil O'Donnell on 4th and goal finds Keyshawn Johnson, 11-yard touchdown. The #1 draft pick's first touchdown as a New York Jet. And he got tackled by a teammate. Jets got no closer early in the fourth. Jim Harbaugh from 12 yards out. And the Colts lead 21-7. Play was suspended for about 1/2 hour with 11 minutes left in the game with lightning conditions. They finally finished at 21-7. Colts win it. They open the season 2-0 and look pretty solid.
Yeah, they sure did. I think the Colts are for real this year. We saw them defensively last year prove that they are capable of playing at a championship level. But for the New York Jets, Keyshawn Johnson's touchdown was the first touchdown that first-string offense has scored, not only during the regular season, but during the preseason as well. It's going to be a long year for Neil O'Donnell and those Jets.
Incidentally, Ken Dilger, tight end for the Colts, 7 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown today. Houston and Jacksonville, the Oilers, their first win of the year, 34-27. Big day for quarterback Chris Chandler, threw for 226 yards and 3 touchdowns, and this was the longest. Chandler rolling left, and Malcolm Floyd as wide open as any receiver could ever hope to be. 63 yards and a touchdown. Broke a 10-10 tie. The Oilers up 17-10. Eddie George earlier scored his first NFL touchdown. Shows off Heisman Trophy form here with just a great run. He slips a couple of tackles, cuts back and forth across the field. 76-yard run to the Jaguars 13. It led to a Chandler to Willie Davis touchdown pass. Jacksonville scored a late touchdown, then recovered an onside kick, but came up short. The Oilers win it 34-27. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, the Falcons fall 23-17 to Minnesota. The Vikings go 2-0. In Detroit, the Lions win their first of the year. Tony Dungy still looking for his first win as Tampa Bay coach. 21-6 Lions the final. And in New Orleans, the Saints are 0-2. Carolina 2-0. The Panthers win it by a score of 22-20. We will send you back to the second half in Seattle and San Diego after a word from the NFL and messages from your local station.
Welcome back to Seattle as we get set to start the second half with the Denver Broncos out in front of the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 13-6.
Still a field position game if you're the Seattle Seahawks. You want to make Elway go a long ways. You want Rick Meyer and that offense to have to go a short field. We'll take a look at the stats here in a minute, and it'll show you exactly that has happened. Elway's got more yards in his offense because they've had to go long. The offense for the Seattle Seahawks have not got much in the way of points, 2 field goals, but then again, they haven't had to go very far to do it.
So Steve Broussard, the kickoff returner for the Seahawks, needs to set the table with a good return to get a good field, but it is short. He has an opportunity. 14-yard line already to the 20, the 25. Nice return out near the 30-yard line. You'll mark it at about the 29. Carswell was there for the Broncos. And you mentioned the halftime stats, and that will continue after the pushing and shoving contest.
John Freeze, Charlie, has come out at quarterback.
Yes, yes. Here's the Coors Light halftime stats. We'll get to John Freeze in a moment.
Wow. Well, you look at the stats. That's impressive. 193-79. We talked about the short field, and what do? I'll be honest. I'm a little surprised Dennis Erickson has pulled the old hook out this early on Rick Meyer. There's nothing wrong with him physically. He did make the one bad decision on the interception, but with the game this close, they are one big play away from tying this football game.
So John Freeze starts the second half at quarterback. Nothing exciting there. He gives to Chris Warren, and he's going to lose about a half a step on the play, maybe a full yard. Let's see where they mark it. Braxton was there for the Denver Broncos. And the situation now of Rick Meyer, when we talked to him, if you're with us at the beginning of the telecast, as he said, all the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, he's heard them all. He can't hear anymore.
He made the one interception, though, Charlie, but he's 7 of 11 for 53. But I like to say the other guys get paid, too. And Greg Robinson's defense has given him nothing but short stuff. That's why he doesn't have the long yards.
Second down and 11. Freeze opens, fires, pass is complete. 36-yard line. Christian Fourier pulls it in at the 36. Mobley pulls him down.
And as you'd expect, the crowd greeted John Freeze's entry into this game rather vigorously when he first came in. And I mean, it's just a sport fact that the world loves player B.
Of course.
John Freeze right now is player B, and they hate A, and that's Rick Meyer, until B becomes A.
I remember George Blanda said, my advice to quarterback B is put off that one big opportunity as long as possible, son. You can stay here. We got whistle. Freeze may have taken too much time.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the player B Hall of Fame quarterback is Don Strock.
Oh, yeah.
He never blew his cover.
No.
You know, he played well when he had to.
The ball was snapped. Ball start by the offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
Won the games when he had to. Had a great tan and worked on his golf game.
Yeah, but you know, we talked about you're going into your 4th year, you know, and this is a big time for Meyer. After 3 years, here's what they've done: yards-wise, interceptions, touchdowns. Not a dramatic difference in that touchdown interception rate. Elway actually had more after 3 years. You know, you got to give the kid a chance, A, to hang himself, or B, to lead his team, and he has not been given that chance today.
Hang himself or hang on. Here comes the show blitz, and it comes. Freeze just throwing it up deep to the far side, hoping perhaps that Pritchard could get to him. But 2 Broncos were blitzing on him, and it'll be 4th down. So at least in the opening drive of the second half, John Freeze not the answer for the Seahawks. A bit early to tell, obviously.
And remember what we said about that field position game, Charlie. Punting from the 30-yard line, unless Tootin can root another one well out there, he's going to have good field position for the Denver offense.
Now's when he needs that biggie. He gets another one. Oh, does he get this one? Kitchen goes back, takes it at the 15. He's to the 20. Far side, slips a tackle. Pretty good return. No flags as we check it out. Jay Bellamy brings him down. We'll step aside. Back in a moment. And there we are, arriving at the ballpark today. By Denver for their own 28-yard line. John Elway has not been replaced. He's the quarterback. Play action fake. Rolls outside the pocket. Throws on the run. Has a man open, and he drops it. Anthony Miller flat dropped it. Elway is so tough when he gets outside the pocket, and this time he's designed play to get him outside the pocket.
And a great reaction by John, too, with his hands on his hips, like, what are you doing, trying to kill me? I run all the way out here to the right where I absolutely can get you this ball, and what do you do?
Right there.
You know what the problem with that pass was? It wasn't fast enough.
Maybe so.
Anthony Miller.
Right, yeah.
Anthony Miller's looking for the fastball. He got the scrooching.
He caught it before he got there, and then he dropped it. Second down. Good hole left side. Terrell Davis coming through. Flag is down.
Going to get another hold inside.
That may be the reason the hole was so wide.
Never hurts.
That's right. Corey Harris finally made the tackle for Seattle. The penalty will bring it back.
Some of my best run blocks were bear hugs.
Holding by the offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Tom Nalen, offensive center.
Well, that's a second holding penalty against Tom. And when you're playing against that duo of defensive tackles, or trios, I should say, of Cortez Kennedy and Glenn Montgomery and Sam Adams, you just sometimes just literally have to hold on because you're going for a ride. And if you're going to try a bear hug against those bears, you better have a lot more hug than they got bear, because there's a lot of bear there.
Second down and 18. Elway, pressure, steps away. Now he's dangerous. Now he is dropped. Whoa, Corey Harris got it.
Corey Harris, recording artist, sees himself as quite the entrepreneur and rap artist, actually. And you know what he does? He puts a little rap on John Elway. You know, closing on the ball is not always for receivers and defensive backs on a pass. Elway's got the ball. Corey Harris closes on the ball effectively. Nice tackle.
And Corey Harris's CD, in the midst of the funk. And he got in the midst of Elway. And we're going to get in the midst of a commercial. We'll be back with more of the funk from Seattle. You're listening to the sounds of Corey Harris.
Who says wide receivers can't make good defensive backs?
SYBE Records. Strong young black enterprise. Entrepreneur. Strong young black entrepreneur. Meanwhile, Terrell Davis. Strong young running back pulls it in. Not enough, and Denver will be kicking as the music continues as we spin the platters from Seattle.
Well, you know, Corey Harris fashions himself quite the singer, and like you said, the young entrepreneur. Could choreographer be next?
Well, when you have the move. Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Here's a kick. That is a bad one.
I give it about an 84.
out of how many? At 84 out of 3,010 or at 84 out of 85? Meanwhile, Seattle will have the ball.
And John Freeze gets crack number 2.
Or opportunity number 2.
Well, you know, and Rick Meyer now sitting on the sideline. I think the natural question people out there and football fans ask when a young quarterback gets the hook is, you know, gee, what kind of an effect does this have on his confidence? And You know, Joe Gibbs had a great line today in the pregame show where he basically said, who cares? Young quarterbacks get pulled all the time, but I think it matters to Rick Mirer. Rick Mirer right now is a guy with not much confidence. I mean, just kind of squishes whatever confidence he had left.
Freeze goes down the sideline and overthrows the intended receiver, Mike Pritchard. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 back at the 36-yard line.
Now, Mike Pritchard would love to catch a big one against these Broncos. He played at Denver, came here to Seattle, and that was a Joey Galloway pass to Michael Pritchard.
And Michael Pritchard, 2 years in Denver, bad taste in his mouth when he left.
Oh, it really was.
Yeah.
Really was. And he's a very fleet receiver. But, you know, the reason I mention that is Galloway's that much faster. And if he throws that pass to Joey Galloway, I think he catches it.
You're right. Now, Freeze, his play package different than Myers because he has already gone deep twice in just the 2 series that he's been in, and Meyer was throwing underneath on everything. Here's the handoff underneath to Chris Warren, and he's going to go to the 40-yard line. So he'll pick up 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 6, and so Freeze will have another opportunity to throw the football.
You know, well, Chris Warren's really a deceiving running back, because I think if you're watching this game, you have to say, you know, how many yards does Chris Warren have? He seems like he goes into the line and he gets 1 or he gets 2, but the deceiving thing with Chris Warren is when you think he's getting 1 or 2, he's really getting 3, 4, 5, 6, and he wears on you. This is a running back that gets much better in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
And has 38 yards. Sideline pass knocked away. Pritchard again. The intended receiver, Randy Hilliard, did the coverage. So 3 and out for John Freeze. And that means that once again, Rick Tootin will be kicking it away.
Well, I think if you're judging by results and you're judging by effectiveness, you haven't upgraded a thing by pulling Rick Mirer.
So far, you're right. Rick Tootin with punts of 56 and 54 yards. And another good one. Todd Kitchen goes back, takes it at the 9. Cuts back to the 20, pretty good return. Stretches out across the 25 to the 26-yard line where James McKnight makes the tackle for Seattle. Just over 10 minutes left in the 3rd. Denver up 13-6. Here's a program note. Jeff Foxworthy is bringing his own brand of must-see family comedy to NBC Monday. The Jeff Foxworthy Show kicking off Monday nights at 8/7 Central. That's in 2 weeks here on NBC.
You know something about Jeff Foxworthy's show? It's now based in Atlanta.
Is it what it
my hometown, and he's a great Southern comedian.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of funny having him stuck out in the Midwest before, but now he's home.
Well, he should be there. The audience will certainly appreciate his humor, as does everybody in the country. Here's Terrell Davis. Play was blown dead. 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. Winston Moss making the tackle.
Yeah, one thing we noticed during the commercial, you know, Sharp he's got the helmet, he's got the visor. Everybody wears a visor, but it's unusual. But look above it.
Got reflectors.
Look at this right here. What is this? Is OSHA got to the NFL now? Is this safety restrictions in case in case he's backing up towards somebody, they have to be able to see him coming?
Oh, it's so that Elway can throw to him at night. They can practice after dark. I'll ride my bike and I'll cut left of the goalpost. We'll stop this one.
68.
Yeah,
I guess it's number 68, right offhand.
We have an
Before the ball was snapped, ball start by the offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, it remains 2nd down.
Sure, blame it on the obvious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, look, no yellow.
Blame it on me.
But no yellow stripes. He is not safe.
That's right.
You know, we've been to that Denver Broncos training camp,
yes.
and if Sharp rides
Denver Bronco thing?
Yeah, it's his facility. If Shannon Sharp rides his bicycle home with that helmet on at night, the headlights will reflect off it. That's a long bike ride.
I know.
That's a long bike. No wonder
it's a safe bike ride. Elway throws, passes complete through the yard line. It's Davis slipping the tackle and picking up the 1st down. Converting on 2nd down and 12, Selwyn Jones makes the tackle.
Well, you know the old thing about when you're a little kid, now you see me, now you don't?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great example here of now you can hit me, now you can't. Oops. There's the first one. Here's the second one. Selwyn Jones went from I'm going to nail him to I hope I can push him out of bounds. But watch Anthony Miller.
Not a bad block.
But that's Dean Wells. That's when you know you got your offense clicking, when your wide receivers don't mind going in and blocking linebackers.
Play action fake, being pressured, in trouble, gets rid of it. Goes to Craver, and he is wrestled down by Winston Moss. And Elway was also nailed on the play.
Well, you saw right there Antonio Edwards coming in late on the play after he's released the ball, basically. So you're giving your guy a free shot. That's Terrell Davis's fault. And to a degree, that's also Antonio Edwards' fault, because he knows darn well that ball is gone. You got to be careful nowadays as a defensive lineman of finishing off that kind of a tackle, because that's now a penalty.
He just kind of rolled over on top of John.
Yeah, but that's a lot of rollover on top of you.
That is. That's 300 pounds of rollover. Terrell Davis. He's stepping out to the 43-yard line.
You know, what you're seeing with this, the short passes out of the backfield, you're seeing the running game be effective. You saw a play-action play before that. That's something John Elway has never had here. It's a reflection of the West Coast offense that Mike Shanahan brought to Denver. It is an offense, if you have the run, that can kill people with big, long plays to the play action. You get a good play-action passer like John Elway that much time, he'll really cut you up.
Third down 4 from the shotgun. This is going to be close. Let's see. No, they're going to rule it incomplete. It will not be close. Terrell Davis was hit immediately, could not hang on to it, did not have possession. So the Seahawks hold. A round of applause, and Denver will be punting.
And a good job by the defense for the Seattle Seahawks. Greg McMackin's group gets up there and just sticks Davis. You saw him bobble the ball. When he caught the ball, if he'd have caught it the first time, that would have been a first down. If he bobbles the ball after that, then lays on the ground and catches it again, they're not going to give him the progress on the original catch. He gets credit for 2 catches and no first down, but only 1 in the book.
The Seahawks only 1 big play away for being right in the midst of this one, and Joey Galloway,
well, there's one
the big play return man, waiting to happen.
All kinds of different poisons Joey Galloway can give you with his talent.
Pretty good kick, turns it over. 11-yard line. Not there, not there. Whoops, something there. Need a block. Got one. Cuts back. 20-yard line. 30-yard line. Down the sideline. He's gone. There it is. Big play, Galloway. Check for flag. No flag. It will stand up. 88 yards.
1 yard off the team record he had last year. 89 yards on that one. This one, 88. Like I said, Charlie, there's more than one way for this poison to kill you. Now, I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with game plan. This has little to do with blocking. This has a lot to do with Joey Galloway and his athletic ability and unbelievable instinct. He knows where the people are. He knows where he belongs. That's right there in the end zone.
Oh, is he fun to watch?
Was that one big play?
Oh, it was. For the time, we got whistles and flags and all kinds of things.
The guy covers about 110 yards with no flags, and we can't kick an extra point without one.
Before the ball was snapped, false start by the offense, number 75, the 5-yard penalty.
Last year's longest in the NFL punt return, 89 yards.
He likes to go to his right, too, doesn't he?
It almost looks identical without the lead blocker, but he had about 3 or 4 changes of directions and changes of mind before he got broke free on this one.
Yes, he did.
It was like, I'm going to go left, no right, no left, no right. Fear can be a wonderful motivator for returners, and believe me, that's what motivates returners is fear.
Here's the extra point. And also for announcers, too. We are tied at 13. Back with the kickoff in a moment.
Dave Arnold, the special teams coach for the Seattle Seahawks, getting them pumped up here in the dome.
And here is the kickoff, and it is going to go out of bounds. That will draw a flag, and that means that Denver will start on offense 30 yards away from where the ball was kicked at the 40-yard line.
Well,
all the way Galloway. Let's look at it again.
Coach Arnold not too crazy about that kick out of bounds, but here we go. I'm going to go left. I'm going to go right. I get a block or two. Now we're talking pure road runner. 84 blue poison gone. What a talent. Check that out. His returns and receptions. Hey, give him another one. He'll have double the offense.
Yes, he will. Ball game tied at 13. Just over 7 minutes to go in the third. Elway comes out firing, and he looks to Shannon Sharp. Sharp turns it upfield. He's going to pick up about 7 yards on the play. Robert Blackman making the tackle.
Get back to Joey Galloway again, Charlie. Could you imagine a bigger contrast in rookie receivers than Joey Galloway last year when we met him, and Keyshawn Johnson, we met him last week? And you can't tell me Keyshawn, also a #1, Galloway a #1, has that much more talent than this young man, but they definitely go about doing their business in a whole different way.
An entirely different approach to the world, not only to football. Here's Terrell Davis. Into Seahawk territory. First down, 49-yard line of Seattle.
Dennis Erickson's a big Joey Galloway fan. Here's what he told us.
You know, we don't get it in his hands enough. That's our fault. I mean, he makes plays when he gets the ball in his hands, whether it's a reverse or a punt or a catch, and we've got to get the football to him more. He's very special because he's a great athlete, but he's got great speed. He's got sprinter speed, but he's an athlete that can move around, and then he's got great hands and makes catches and makes plays. And we've got to find a way to move him around and get the football to him as many ways as we can.
And that's the key. He makes plays.
Well, Charlie, in my opinion, it's great athletes and great football players like Joey Galloway that separate the good offensive coaches from the great and genius offensive coaches. Great offensive coaches have never been great with average talent. You need that kind of talent to be special.
That last pass to Ed McCaffrey. It may be for the first down. We'll bring out the change to check it out. 5:36 time remaining. We're in the third quarter. Denver and Seattle are tied at 13. Joey Galloway with an 88-yard punt return. First down for Denver. Second longest in Seahawks history. He has the longest. One more yard, 89.
And one of the hazards of celebrating a big play, the celebration can sometimes have a hangover, and right now the hangover is on the defense of the Seahawks, and their coordinator, Greg McMackin, there has got to be thinking, you know, this bend or break stuff's getting a little bit carried away. We got to stop bending 60 yards and not breaking at the goal line.
Elway to throw. Timing pattern down the sideline, incomplete. Going to McCaffrey again. And he was picked up by Carlton Gray, and Gray just pins him against the sideline and takes him right down. Now they're checking out Joey Galloway. Can you tell what that is?
You know, a guy's fast. I think they were looking for a contact.
Maybe he's so fast he.
Well, I tell you what, he might have to get one of those Shannon Sharp face shields with the little blinkers on the front of it. Because if you don't wear the blinkers and the face shield, you run so fast, the wind tears your contacts out of your eyes, and the trainer has to try to find them on your face.
You're right on top of it. You have captured it again.
But he's young. He'll learn.
Here's the draw. Terrell Davis. He makes some nice moves. I mean, that the youngsters in the audience might want to remember that when you're coming to this side or to the left side, you notice he was carrying the ball in his right hand, and when he gets pressure from 3 Seahawks, he moves the ball to his left hand so that when they make the tackle and take him out of bounds, that he does not lose the football. See, he has it right here. Now he sees trouble on the way. Whoops, I'll get it over there. I can protect it with my body. Nice move.
Great point, but it still makes coaches nervous.
Of course it does.
It's one thing when you're cutting back, when you're moving full speed. I've played with a lot of backs that make that look hard. He made that look easy.
I know. Coaches are born to be nervous, though. Third down and 1. First down, 25-yard line. Dean Wells bringing down Terrell Davis.
This Bronco running game, very effective, answering that long punt return of Joey Galloway's. But if you're on the defense for Seattle, you're Greg McMackin on the sideline, their coordinator, you're worried about the run, but you're a lot more worried about the play-action pass which comes off the run. The run is a slow death. The play-action pass is the immediate 6 points.
And the Seahawks told us he wanted to take away the run. Of course, John Elway to beat him. John kind of likes the challenge. Now he steps forward, and pressure sacked again.
They're calling him down. That's sack number 4, Charlie.
Yeah. Is that Sinclair again?
No, you know who got him? Sam Adams.
Adams did, because Sinclair has 3 of the sacks.
Watch.
And that is the 4th.
Sam Adams. Remember he went out earlier with the bad wheel?
No,
he cleans up, and it was Sinclair.
That was
unbelievable.
Sinclair has all 4 sacks.
Boy, is this guy having a game. We talked about the great job done yesterday, or last week rather, by the Denver defense. Just as impressive getting after John Elway in this offense from Sinclair and the defense.
2nd down and 14. Not much there for Aaron Craver. Sam Adams wrapped him up.
I've been through, or in the shoes of Broderick Thompson myself, the right tackle for the Denver Broncos.
Are they your size or what?
Well, I doubt it.
No.
But, I mean, you've got a guy in Sinclair that is absolutely, you know.
What do you do to stop
your hands are full? No, your hands aren't full. No. Your hands are full. John Elway's hands are full. The running back's hands are full. I mean, this guy is giving it to you.
Now, do you pull in help? Do you pull a tight end? Do you get somebody to help you out to chip him a bit?
The key is not to be so proud you don't ask for help.
Good point. 3rd down and 10 shotgun. Elway fires this one, and it is caught at the 15-yard line by Mike Sherrard, who was down at the 15, tried to get up and scrambled. Darrell Williams was there to cover him at the 14-yard line. That was 3rd down and 10. It's a 1st down.
You know, why do you sign a veteran wide receiver with a history of injuries like Sherrard? How often have you seen a guy go 17 yards when you need 18? Or 14 yards when you need 15. A veteran receiver goes exactly the distance and then a yard and lets him be able to come back for the ball and still get the 1st.
And regardless of where the throw is, this time down and away, he's there to make the reception. Terrell Davis, and he's wrapped up by Dean Wells.
An impressive drive by John Elway and this Broncos offense, because they have turned this crowd from looking at the sound meter on the scoreboard to looking in their laps and maybe figuring if they need another refreshment or a hot dog, because this might be a long 2nd half, and that one play did by no means even this game up.
Here's the rushing yardage. Denver over the century. Seattle 39.
Had 202 last week. Remember, against the Jets rushing.
Little cut back in underneath by Terrell Davis, and he's wrapped up by Winston Moss. Davis missed practice on Wednesday with a migraine headache, and he has fierce migraines. They'll hit him 2 or 3 times a year, and he told me it just makes you sick. You can't, you know, you're just sick at your stomach. You can't keep anything down. It hurts so much. All that you can really do is get in a dark room and sit down and hope that it goes away.
But he's got the kind of migraines that coaches don't mind him having, because he gets them on Wednesdays. Doesn't get them on Sunday.
You're not allowed to. 3rd down, into the corner. It is good. Elway with that little timing pattern. He just sets it up, and he goes right to Anthony Miller. Miller with his 4th reception of the ball game, and he beat Corey Harris. An impressive 60-yard drive.
We talked about the laser beam pass or the dirigible pass. The last dirigible with just a little bit too much float. That one had the tether lines down just right for Miller to reach up and grab it.
And here is the extra point, and it is good. So after Joey Galloway went 88 yards to tie it up at 13 with the extra point, Denver comes right back, and here's how they do it.
Anthony Miller on Corey Harris. A great pass from John Elway. He knows it. We know it. 20-13 Broncos.
You're watching the NFL on NBC.
As we come back, Steve Broussard on a nice return down the near sideline for the Seattle Seahawks. And they'll go to work at the 35-yard line. Well, Anthony Miller went to work, and he went to work on Corey Harris, Dr. Funk.
They definitely did, and it was a great example. You know, when you fly fish, you lay that little thing out there, and you say, I hope a fish bites. Watch what he does. He lays the lure out there. I'm not going to run. Chomp. You got a bite. You need the ball. You got the ball. Now you need a kicker, because that's 6 points.
Remember what Corey Harris told us? That don't bait John Elway.
You never bait John Elway.
Elway baited him.
You don't underestimate Anthony Miller's speed either, he said.
Here's Chris Warren, and there's absolutely nothing there as they start from the 35-yard line. We're inside the last minute of play in the third quarter. Romanowski with the stop. Here is John Elway. The scoring drive, 60 yards, 12 plays. Took just over 6 minutes, answering the 88-yard touchdown punt return of Joey Galloway.
You know John Elway is into this game and being intense, because, you know, a lot of quarterbacks, being the pretty boys they are, go to the sideline and put those baseball hats on. But you look at Elway on the sideline, that hair is going in 14 different directions. He doesn't care about that hat.
No.
I mean, he's worried about football. See, there's a guy worried about football, because he can't be worried about how he looks.
I think one of the interesting things that quotes from his teammates this past week was that he just loves to play.
Ball start by the offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
That's the highest of all compliments, isn't it?
He's an intense guy. Very, very intense. And look at him there. He's thinking football.
Remember what Mike Shanahan told us? That he wants to beat you at chess, at golf, at football. You know, if you play horse, that's it. He wants to beat you.
But that picture says to me is that there's only one thing worse than hat head, and that's helmet head. Helmet does worse things to your dude than that hat will.
Well, maybe that's why Shannon Sharp has reflectors on him. Freeze throws far side, and it is caught. Yeah. Joey Galloway pulls this one in. Nice throw. Washington is the man they beat as we come to the end of the third quarter. We'll return to Seattle after these messages and a word from your local station. Denver 20, Seattle 13. This is Charlie Jones, Randy Cross, the scoring by quarters.
A little stressful look on Dennis Erickson's face, because, you know, he realizes this game is not as close as the score indicates by all rights. His Seahawks should not be that close. Meyer and Gelbaugh on the sideline, but I mean, his guys shouldn't be close, but they are. They're that one big play away still. That one big play, I mean, I get the ball to Joey Galloway.
But first, here's a reminder that following the game on most of these NBC stations, after Ross Perot's special, it's an all-new Dateline Sunday at the special time of 7:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common in the new Sunday night slots. Viewers on the West Coast, of course, will see these shows at their regularly scheduled time. Interesting numbers in the third quarter. Denver had possession of the ball almost 11 minutes. Seattle just over 4.
Yeah, but they only needed the ball for about 8 seconds to get their touchdown with Joey Galloway.
From the 46. 3 sets, throws, it is tipped, incomplete, flag is down. Ricky Prohl, the intended receiver. Randy Hilliard had the coverage for Denver.
And a hold against the Seahawks.
Holding by the offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's on Ed Cunningham. And speaking of numbers in the third quarter, Seattle with 29 yards, Denver with 93. But again,
Seattle has more yards when you add 88 to Joey Galloway's on the return,
right.
doesn't it?
Yes, definitely.
I could be wrong. I wasn't a big math guy.
No, I think you've got that one captured, though. I think you've got it surrounded, too. First down and 20. Just inside the 36-yard line, Seattle in their own territory. They trailed 20-13. And almost intercepted. Almost picked off. But then Brian Blades pulled it in and hangs on to it. Washington almost had the interception. I thought for a moment he did and was going to be in the end zone in a split second.
Check this out. Lionel Washington last week got the first interception in what seemed like 10 years for a corner for Denver. Been a little bit more than a year. Thought he had the second. Knew he had the second. But only one person in that shot watched the ball the whole way, and that was Brian Blades.
And for Brian Blades, that is an historic reception. His second of the ball game, his 500th of his career.
Good weekend for 500. Eddie Murray gets his 500th home run, and Blades gets his 500th catch.
Meanwhile, Anthony Miller's only a couple away from his 500. And we got a few whistles blowing.
Before the snap, false start by the offense, number 79. It's a 5-yard penalty to remain second down.
So Ed Cunningham again. What causes a false start by an offensive lineman?
Usually anticipation. That's about the only thing that usually causes that, is just offensive linemen worrying more about the guy over them and what they're going to do to him than that little voice behind them and their quarterbacks. Remember also, you've got a change in quarterbacks.
Change of voices.
So a little voice in the back of your head that used to be Rick Myers is now John Friesen. And decibel levels make a big difference when you're nervous.
2nd and 19. Fumble on the exchange, and Denver has the ball.
Well, Rick Meyer did a lot of things when he was in there. He had his own fumble on a sack. He had interception, but we didn't see him drop the ball on the snap with the center. That's the case right there. The center going one way, the quarterback going the other, and the ball going in the worst possible direction. That's to Denver, into the arms of Bill Romanowski, who now has 2 fumble recoveries and an interception.
That's right.
He's one of those guys, you can't describe how he does it, but Romanowski manages to be around the ball ever since his rookie year when he had a big interception in Super Bowl 23 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
So Denver takes over at the Seattle 37-yard line. Let's see if Elway wants to catch in immediately. Steps away, comes back, throws over the middle. He goes to Aaron Craver, who is decked. You're going to mark the point of the reception, which is the 32-yard line. So it'll go for a gain of 5 yards on the play. Dean Wells with the tackle.
Now, we saw that last drive by the Denver offense, Charlie, it result in a touchdown, that pass to Anthony Miller. And, you know, if I'm on the Seattle sideline or on the field defensively, you know, Greg McMackin has been giving and hoping for a play. I think it's about time to take a chance and try to get a play your way with a big turnover.
Back to the ground game, and is Terrell Davis, 24-yard line. So he will pick up the first down. And on the far sideline, there is John Freeze, the quarterback, for the Seattle Seahawks.
Talking to Rick Meyer, who was in a baseball hat.
And Meyer played the first half. Freeze came out and started the second half.
Remember what I said about baseball hats?
The day's over.
If you don't care about how you look, you don't wear a hat. If you care about how you look, you don't care about playing again.
Terrell Davis has rushed for 78 yards in the ballgame on 21 carries. And he will add to that total here as he goes for 5 more to the 19. And it's going to be 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, it's amazing with these 2 running backs, with Craver and Davis, neither one being a big physical style of runners. They love to run inside.
Yes.
They go inside the tackles. You know, predominantly that's where they do their business. And you got to say, with Schlereth and Nalen and Habib, the guards and the centers, they have to be doing the lion's share of the heavy digging and lifting for those guys to get the yards inside.
2nd down and 5. Right again. Nothing there. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Dean Wells wraps up Terrell Davis. So now Elway will be throwing.
See, but also something else that they're doing here by that running the ball inside, by having these drives like this. It's not really a drive, it's kind of a spurt. It's been so short so far after that fumble by Freeze. But it takes time off the clock. And when you're a team looking for a big play, as Seattle is, offensively or defensively, that clock becomes oxygen. And Elway can strangle off that oxygen by taking time off the clock.
3rd down and 5. Seth throws far side, diving reception. Are they going to give it to him?
No, he's going to be short.
That was Ed McCaffrey. He had to scrape it off of the turf.
It's not going to be a first down, but it does set up a relative chip shot, about a punch 9-iron for Jason Elam.
Yes. And that throw to the far side was very low for John Elway. And now the field goal kicking team will come aboard.
You know, one thing that's been amazing in the NFL nowadays is the percentage of the kickers inside the 40-yard line. I mean, we know they got stronger legs and can kick it forever. But these guys, 90% plus is not leading the league. 90% is what you're expected to do.
Well, we've got a timeout. Will they try and freeze him? We'll see. We'll be back. 10 minutes and 36 seconds. That is the time remaining in the ball game. And the catch that set this up is a marginal catch. We'll show that to you in a moment. First things first, here's the field goal attempt. And it is good from 33 yards away. And so Denver adds to their total, and they now lead at 23-13, and we'll have the kickoff and the controversial catch when we come back. We're set to go. Denver will be kicking off. Steve Broussard is the deep back on the return. And he will take it at the 6-yard line. Outside the 20. And a nice return. Now let's go back to that catch that we were talking about by Ed McCaffrey. It was called a catch. And I'm not really sure that it was.
I don't know whether to give McCaffrey a catch or an Emmy, because he does a heck of an acting job here if this ball does make it to the ground. See, not just any guy is able to cradle it like that if it was on the ground, but none of the officials could get a good view of that.
Covered it with his body, rolled over, and he had possession.
Right. Ta-da! I got it.
Veteran move. Meanwhile, Seattle needs to get a veteran move from their own 25-yard line. As they now trail by 10 with just over 10 minutes left in the ball game. There's a diving grab downfield by Mike Pritchard.
Incomplete.
They're going to rule it incomplete. They say juggling did not have possession. Oh, I thought he had that one. Randy Hilliard was there for Denver.
The kind of play Dennis Erickson needs. He needs a spark. Quarterbacks are put in when quarterbacks are yanked for a spark. That play would have been a spark, but so far the change at quarterback has done nothing really to this offense but produce a dull thud.
Second down and 10. Seattle at their own 25-yard line. John Freeze has been the quarterback in the second half for the Seattle Seahawks. Rick Meyer played the entire first half. Set throws, far side pass is there. Mike Pritchard. He keeps going back and back to Pritchard. Is this because as the backup quarterback basically in practice he has thrown more to Pritchard and is more familiar with him than he would be, say, with the Galloway and Blades?
Well, I'm sure that's part of it, but also part of it is they're being given by Greg Robinson's defense short stuff. And it's the receiver's job to take the short stuff and turn it into long stuff. But the defense is tackling so well, they're not getting the chance.
Almost intercepted.
By guess who? Bill Romanowski, once again, all over the football and right where the quarterback doesn't want him to be, but I can't think can help but seeing him. Look at the end zone. There's Romanowski, top left of your screen. You're going to throw the pass. What part of the wrong-colored jersey do you not understand?
And in that coach's cliche, at least today, Romanowski has a nose for the football.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he's there.
I tell my kid that all the time. What part of no don't you understand?
And that answer is usually, I'll discuss that with mother.
And the 12-year-old smiles and looks at you and says, the N and the O.
Yeah. 9:32 left. Denver up by 10. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Seattle. This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross. Denver has not put it away yet, but you have the feeling that they could very quickly.
Well, on any one big play for John Elway, but what's even worse for Dennis Erickson is a long, sustained running drive, getting off to a pretty good start with a couple-yard run.
And also, when we talked with the Denver Broncos, and they all talked mentioned the same thing this week and last week, is that they now have the rushing game that they feel can take them to the Super Bowl, and now's the time to show it off, because here's where you need it.
Well, remember we talked about at the beginning of the game. The running game of the Broncos, very effective.
Yes.
The running defense of the Broncos has been very effective in taking Chris Warren away from the Seahawks. That's a very important part of their football game and something that has been impressive from the Broncos.
And that's what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
Yes. Second down and 7. And here's the rushing attack that is good enough for a first down. Terrell Davis. Michael Sinclair of the Seattle Seahawks makes the tackle.
Now, who would have thought a couple years ago that you were going to watch a John Elway offense in what I usually refer to as kind of the end of the quarter, second half of the quarter type offense, blasting the ball down the field with a good aggressive offensive line and really the best 1-2 punch at running back I think this team has ever had in Aaron Craver and Terrell Davis. I mean, John Elway is known as a gunner.
Oh, yeah.
Right now he's a handler, not a gunner.
And he couldn't be happier. And there's the hole right through Aaron Craver as he goes through that Seahawks defense for another 5 or 6 yards.
I asked him yesterday, I said, you tempted at all to give Danny Marino a call down in Miami? You know, everybody made a big deal about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the rookie out of UCLA, getting 115 yards and touching the ball more times than Dan Marino threw it. And, you know, John got kind of a smile on his face and says, you know, he'll learn to like that. Eventually he'll learn to like not having to throw the ball that much.
Yeah. Second down and 5, 43-yard line. 7:40 and counting, time remaining in the game. Same song, next verse. And Craver is wrapped up on Michael Sinclair.
I tell you, Michael Sinclair.
What a game he's had, hasn't he?
He has had a coming out party.
Yes. Yes.
And you want to talk about a guy, you know, I always say that, you know, Chris Warren's sort of in the witness protection program up here. Nobody knows about him. You want to talk about a game that could really make people stand up and take notice, you know, be strong and aggressive against the run like Sinclair has been, but more importantly, 4 sacks against John Elway in an offense predicated on quick drops and releases the ball. That's an impressive defensive line performance.
Third down and 6. Inside 7 minutes. And Elway draws the Seahawks off. Contact was made. They'll stop the play.
Sam Adams.
Did he do it again?
6'1", about 305, succumbs to the Elway bark.
and once he gets rolling, you can't stop.
Before the snap, encroachment by the defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty remains third down.
Charlie, watch this. Sam Adams, not only does he jump off sides, he wants to be invisible. Look at that. Now he stops and he goes, maybe they won't notice me. Do I fit in here?
If I stand amongst the other linemen.
Sam, 6'1", 305 or so, they're going to pick you out of a group pretty good.
Particularly when you've got the other colored jersey on. So it's third down and 1. So Denver now, rather than throwing in that situation, they'll come back and they could well run it here.
See, an offensive lineman's thinking drop back and protect when he jumps early. A defensive lineman's thinking kill the quarterback.
It'll be close. Davis may not make it. Cortez Kennedy makes the tackle.
Great penetration by Cortez Kennedy. And exactly the reason McMacken alternates those defensive tackles, so they're fresher in the fourth quarter. They can penetrate. 96, Tez Kennedy absolutely gets just a whiff job. Brian Habib never even laid a finger on the guy. He ran right around him. That is not the nature or design of the defense. That is the nature and design of that defensive tackle. And if he can play to that standard, he can be an All-Pro again. He hasn't been an All-Pro the last couple of years.
Seattle Seahawks earlier called on big play Galloway, Joey Galloway. He went 88 yards for the touchdown. That tied up the ball game at 13. Now he'll have another opportunity. Tom Lewin will be punting. Seattle needs another big play. There's nothing there. Coverage, the lane coverage of the Denver Broncos, they all came down. They all stayed in their lane. It was just like a wave of white jerseys.
Now you know
they rolled right over Joey Galloway.
And you know you've got a smart young man, Charlie, because even a great one like that, like I said, returners are motivated by fear. One motivation, try to get a touchdown. The other motivation, when you see that many guys coming at you, hit the ground, live to fight another day.
It's the stone.
Denver up by 10. Seattle has the ball at their own 15-yard line, first down. 5:52 time remaining in the game. Here comes the blitz. Freeze throws incomplete.
Boy, this offense has been totally just ineffective on first down. That's really what's gotten Rick Mirer in trouble early, and it's gotten John Freeze in trouble since he got in here in the second half. And look at the comparison. I mean, they haven't mustered 92 yards, but between them. 11 of 21 isn't a terrible percentage. I mean, Meyer had all the percentage at 7 for 11, but I mean, first down passes, they're averaging .86 yards, less than a yard.
But also a credit to the defense of Denver, and Denver's defense against the run. Here's Mike Pritchard as he pulls this one in for the first down. Now, what have the Seahawks done rushing on first down?
Well, not a whole lot better, 2.86. So, I mean, all those numbers, a lot of numbers to digest. Yep. Bottom line, a good defensive performance by the Denver Broncos. They have showed maybe this defense is for real.
Seattle first down. It is tipped. And caught by Brian Blade. That's number 501. Well, he made 501 career receptions. Very exciting.
Well, he gets a couple assists. If this was hockey, he'd get assists for his goal or catch. Well, John Freeze showing he's got a bit of a bark too, and Michael Dean Perry showing he's got some pretty sensitive ears.
You like what Alfred Williams said yesterday when we talked to him? He said, I get off the ball.
Encroachment by the defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
He said, I look up, and Michael Dean Perry is 2 yards in front of me. He said, he gets off the ball so quickly. He said, I think he's offsides every play.
Well, he's a lot like Jerry Ball, and he's a lot like Cortez Kennedy. He's a lot like, you know, Dana Stubblefield at San Francisco. They usually are offside. Yeah. But once you get that rep, don't get called for offside. They give you the whisker and the face mask.
Then you can get away with it. Second down in the yard. Over the middle, pass is complete to Brian Blade. Blade's at the 30 and then out of bounds. Seahawks looking for a spark, and there's the first one they've had since the punt return of Joey Galloway.
Well, Charlie, catch 501 was something to have fun with and laugh about. But catch 502 is beautiful execution by not only Brian Blade, but also John Freeze. All the way across the field, dragging from Freeze's right to left. The play-action pass. How often do you see that set up a crossing pattern? And right now it's speed and hope. Speed from Blades and hope from the DBs they can get them out of bounds.
Denver, 26-yard line, first down. Stands in the pocket. Scrambles out, goes to maybe the 23-yard line where Alfred Williams brings him down.
Now moving inside of 4.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. This is the kind of spark a head coach has in mind when he changes quarterbacks. Only the spark's a little bit more immediate than this. It's been 20 minutes of game clock since Freeze entered the game.
We got flags everywhere. The hurry of all along is Christian Fourier if it holds up. Now remember, there are flags.
The jump after the bark is offsides defense, I think.
Offsides by the defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Christian Fourier, tight end, after the jump by Michael Dean Perry. They get him. Fourier coming from the right side of your screen. Wide open. A flat bust by the defense of the Broncos. And somehow, some way, these Seahawks are back after this kick within 3.
Here's the extra point attempt, and it is good. And Denver's lead now has been cut to 23-20. Christian Fourier played his collegiate ball at Colorado and his high school ball
at my old high school, Crespi. Not bad for a young man coming off a broken finger.
Not exactly.
Just a number comparison, the Broncos have 18 first downs, the Seahawks only 9, but they're right back in the middle of it.
Because Michael Dean Perry there succumbs to John Freese's bark. We talked about Elway's bark. Michael Dean gets it on 2. It was on 3. Resulted in 6 by that guy right there. Christian Fourier, the tight end of the Seattle Seahawks, and it's 23-20 Broncos in a game that they have dominated.
And here is the last scoring drive, 6 plays, 85 yards, just over a minute and a half.
The important number you saw on that screen, John Freese, 4 or 5 for 78 yards. That is not a dull thud, folks. That was a spark.
Don Peterson kicks it away. Von Hebron from the 8-yard line to the 15, opening at the 20. He's to the 30, cuts back at the 40, will be caught from behind at the 48-yard line. A key return for the Denver Broncos. Von Hebron, he needed to give the Broncos a spark, and he does it.
Well, you know, you got to talk about Von Hebron. What a great pickup last week before the opener. He becomes available after the Eagles cut him loose. Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak knows he has experience in that West Coast offense. This guy returns kicks. This guy runs well out of the backfield. And he even runs well enough that a kicker has to make his own feeble attempt at attack.
40 yards on the kickoff return. And Terrell Davis is snubbed by Winston Moss.
And Winston Moss and the Seattle defense is as fired up as the offense looked last time you saw him. That's their coordinator, Greg McMacken. He's got a long history with Dennis Erickson. Actually, they coached together on the same staff many moons ago in 1981 with the San Jose State coaching staff. That's Jack Elway you see on the left there, and one of the few pictures in captivity you've seen grown men in hot pants.
Jack, of course, is John's dad. Second down and 10. Here's Kramer. Just inside the 45-yard line of Seattle. Robert Blackman was there. There's the clock.
See, now here's a Seahawk nightmare, Charlie. Not only are you worried about a big return, which is part of a nightmare, then you're worried, if you're Dennis Erickson, about this Denver running game. Remember how effective Davis and they have been.
How long has it been since you could say that a ball club and opposing team was worried about Denver's running game? It's been a while, but now you're right. They have to concern themselves.
Probably when Harry Sidney was caring for the Denver Gold in the USFL. That's the last time a Denver team had a running game.
They just run some more time off the clock, take it down to 1 second. Elway calls a timeout. Back in a moment. 2:36, time remaining in the game. Denver 23. Seattle 20. It was tied 3-3 after the first quarter. Denver was up 13-6 at the half, and Denver was up 20-13 after 3.
That timeout's very important if you can stop John Elway and get the ball back in John Freese's hand.
Third down and 3. He throws as a man wide open, and it's Ed McCaffrey. We converts on third down inside the 35 of Seattle to the 34-yard line, and the Broncos continue to move, and the clock continues to move.
Yeah, we love to put labels on people in this business. You know, Miller's the down the field guy, the bomb guy, but Shannon Sharp is the guy he likes to go to the security blanket. But I tell you, McCaffrey is slowly developing and surely developing into a real guy that he likes to go to in those clutch moments that people overlook.
Very comfortable with it. Here's a program note tonight on Dateline. What really happened in the O.J. Simpson case. An inside expert reveals some startling secrets. That's Dateline Sunday tonight at 7:30 only on NBC.
Remember what I talked about, Charlie, that, you know, second half of the fourth quarter offense, which we referred to with Bill Walsh as the 4-minute offense? This is the 4-minute offense and a 4-minute offense drill. You don't give the ball back here. Your running game takes the time away.
And here is the running game. Aaron Craver. He high steps through to the 20-yard line and is a first down.
Well, the only thing better than eating up time and killing the clock is getting a chance to score some points.
Darrell Williams with the tackle.
But remember here, too, Charlie, this is a fullback. Not necessarily the fullback body, but look at the eyes. Looking for the hole, finds the hole, set up by a nice block by Shannon Sharp, laying on the ground there in the background, observing, but it was nonetheless a good block that set up the cutback. Don't start celebrating too early, boys. You need to run this ball and run out this clock.
Craver has rushed for 46 yards in 9 carries. Terrell Davis, 94 yards in 27 carries.
And Ed Hockley and the officials, the clock had run down to 2:10, but I think it had run down after they had blown the whistle, so they put those 4 seconds back on the clock, so it's at 2:14.
And these are the rushing. Denver has rushed for 163 yards. Seattle, as you saw, about 1/5 of that. Moving inside, Davis to the outside, around the corner, and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Just a step away from scoring. And a Denver drive that has been the hallmark of their rushing attack.
And this rushing attack, what's make this offense, I think, now so dangerous. Maybe a year from now, Terrell Davis, and it's hard to criticize a great play, but if you're an offensive coach, you're watching that happen, you know what you're thinking? And even John Elway, get down, stay in bounds. Let the clock keep running, take your yards, and get down.
You're right.
If you can't get in, don't go out.
Terrell Davis has now rushed for 111 yards. And Denver has taken a timeout with the ball at the 1-yard line. With 2 minutes and 8 seconds, that is the time remaining.
Well, keep in mind, too, Charlie, this is an offense that last week rushed for 202 yards against the Jets. A defense that people were rather suspect about after the aggressive nature that Elway and his offense went into them. This defense, on the other hand, is pretty well thought of. But Gary Kubiak there, the offensive coordinator, and his running game opened up the play action, opened up a lot of things, but more importantly, opened up this Seattle defense.
Denver leading by 3 and threatening here, of course, to stretch that back to 10.
They made a lot of yards today inside the tackles. Last play, they went outside, and there wasn't much there.
Quarterback sneak. There it is. Did he make it? The play, yes. There it is. Touchdown, John Elway.
Well, you know, football's a game of options, Charlie. And when you've got one running back in the backfield, and he goes in motion, check this out. Running back, motion, no more running back. Tall quarterback, 215 pounds. I'd guess run.
Not hard to figure out. There's nowhere else to go.
They don't want to throw it and stop the clock.
Right.
John Elway on a short sneak with his size is always a good call behind that line, who, as a group, has got it going on.
Jason Elam to add the point after, and there it is. And Denver back on top now by 10 points, 30-20.
Well, I talked about how effective this inside running game is. Nalen, Schlareth, Habib, 6 points Elway.
John Elway this afternoon has completed 18 of 28. He's thrown for only 209 yards. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns. But the offense of the Denver Broncos now with their rushing attack is most effective. Here is Reggie Brown on the return.
Oh, he's not coming back now, Charlie. 2 minutes. He's got the hat on. Now he's worried about how he looks. Because you had that shot earlier, and he had the helmet head working pretty hard again. So as he's going to the hat, that usually means backups coming in to mop up and fall on the ball if he has to.
Elway also rushed for 23 yards and a touchdown, a couple of carries.
This guy's amazing. I tell you, look out for these Broncos. People talked about how last year was 13-3, Kansas City, and then a host of other guys out in the West taking advantage of each other at 8-8, 9-7. But if this team can keep this up offensively and be this aggressive defensively, Kansas City is not alone in the West.
And don't forget San Diego, they're winning big today. And they'll be facing Green Bay next week. Here's Chris Warren on the receiving end. Denver will return home to host Tampa Bay. And the Seahawks, they still have their work cut out for them. Their record's going to be 0-2, and they're going to be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat Oakland today. Here is Freeze. Pass is complete, far side. Christian Fourier, who scored a touchdown in the ball game, picks up the first down. Clock continues moving.
I think this is a good enough Seattle defense to accompany a pretty good offense. The problem is, offensively, they are not executing, and they are not even pretty good.
Here's a middle screen to Chris Warren. It caroms off his shoulder pads, incomplete. And that look says it all on the face of quarterback John Freeze. 1 minute and 7 seconds left.
You look at the weapons this offense has. You're seeing young Christian Fourier, a good young tight end, Joey Galloway, Brian Blade, Michael Pritchard, Chris Warren, Max Strong, a good blocking fullback. Their problem is they need a quarterback. Right now, they're kind of a headless horseman.
Freeze to throw. And he is sacked. The ball pops loose, recovered by Seattle.
Harold Hasselbeck got in there and threw him down and separated him from the ball. But remember at the beginning of the game, I talked about the fact that the Denver defense has to prove they can stop an effective physical running team. Well, I think holding Chris Warren to 38 yards is a pretty effective job. You know, anytime you go back-to-back weeks with 13 attempts and 14 attempts by Chris Warren, that means you're going to be behind, and that means you're probably going to lose if he's only touching the ball that many times.
And here is Chris Warren on the receiving end. Is Seattle in that hurry of offense? And Seattle takes their last timeout. So they burn that timeout with 29 seconds left in the ball game. Here's a reminder that following the game on most of these NBC stations, after a Ross Perot special, it's an all-new Dateline Sunday at the special time of 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common in their new Sunday night slot. Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times.
You know, I really think what you've seen happen today, and the Denver Broncos have played an effective defensive game, a pretty good offensive game, but Rick Meyer and the Seattle Seahawks hung close early. But Mike Shanahan's Broncos proved they can win a game. They let a team stay close and then pull away. I mean, that's very important. The rushing defense stopped Chris Warren, and offensively, this offensive line and these two running backs might extend John Elway's career a couple of years.
Freeze goes deep over the middle, and it is incomplete. That was on 4th down, and so the Denver Broncos will take over in downs with 24 seconds left to go in the ballgame. No timeouts remaining. They'll need only to down the ball, and they may just wave bye-bye to each other, is what they looked like they wanted to do. Well, that was the defensive team of the Broncos waving to the offensive team of the Seattle Seahawks, and Elway does put the helmet back on one more time.
He's got stuff. He's got his hat in tucked into the back of his pants. That is not a pad. Look at that.
Doesn't he? We have captured the essence of John Elway
the helmet,
at this moment.
When this game ends, he's going to do three things. He's going to call the play, then he's going to take the snap, then he's going to exchange hats. The helmet comes off, the baseball hat goes on, and you know the game's over.
First we've got to kneel.
There's one, there's two.
So we're waiting for it to go to the cap. But we'll take the countdown to make it official. The Denver Broncos record now will be 2-0. The Seattle Seahawks record will be 0-2. The final, Broncos win it by 10, 30-20. We'll be back. Tonight on Dateline Sunday, what really happened in the O.J. Simpson case? An inside expert reveals some startling secrets. Dateline Sunday tonight at the special time of 7:30 only on NBC. Then it's must-see TV with Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common in their new Sunday slots. That's tonight on NBC. Our final score here, Denver 30, Seattle 20. Randy Cross, I'm Charlie Jones. Thanks for being with us. So long from Seattle. You've been watching the NFL on NBC.